step into the day with the dawn ringing in my ears. Oh, I tune into my TV show. No better way, I gotta get myself into gear. Let's go. Oh, and I feel good today with my wake up in the morning espresso. I feel good today. It's my feel good breakfast show.
Good morning, you beautiful people. Welcome to Thursday. Welcome to SABC3 and welcome to the Expresso show. We are live. My name is Raul Debone and this handsome gentleman on our right-hand side.
Thank you. Thank you. I'm working toward a Raul level of handsome, but I'll get there someday. My name is Carl Wasty. I hope you're doing fantastic this morning. And what a show we have today. You know, any show that has gaming involved in it. You know, Grant Hines is going to be here, but you know that I'm going to need like...
Apparently, also, this is our job, Carl.
Yes.
Like, we get to play games today, and that's our job. I'm living the dream. I've made it.
We are living the dream. I mean, this morning we get comfy with the PlayStation 5 console and playing a game of FIFA 21. I thought this will never happen, but it's happening today. And we asked you all week to join us by sending us your gamer tags on your social media. And now we get to play with you live and online from the comfort of your own homes.
So, there's only one last thing to say.
Yeah.
May the best team win. So let's check in with the rest of the crew and say good morning before we kick it off with the rest of the magic on the show.
Good morning, gentlemen. I'm Zoe Brown, and of course, it is a fun day ahead. I know the boys are very excited to play FIFA 21, but of course, it's not just about the gents, it's about the ladies too. So we want to know from you on social media, who would you pick to be part of your FIFA 21 team? You can let us know on social media, use that hashtag Expresso Show. Who would you pick to play on your FIFA team? That is the question. If I had to pick, I think I would definitely pick Wasty. He knows his games. But how about you let us know? Head on over to our Expresso Facebook page and we will share some of your answers throughout the show.
I'm so honored. Thank you so much, Zoe. But we have to get into some of the news now on Expresso. And starting off with some South African news. Sister Zoliswa Gideon Josie of Cape Town became the first South African to receive the Johnson & Johnson COVID-19 vaccine at the Khayelitsha Hospital yesterday. Gideon Josie was part of a contingent of health workers that received the first doses of the Johnson & Johnson jabs and will now undergo a period of medical observation. Yesterday afternoon, President Cyril Ramaphosa and Health Minister Zweli Mkhize will also administer their jabs at the same hospital. Ramaphosa urged all healthcare workers to register to receive their vaccinations as they were the first in line of defense. Moving on to Eskom, who says the risk of load shedding may reduce after April as the power utility looks to deal with its backlog of maintenance. This after Eskom had predicted that load shedding was likely to occur until December this year. Appearing before Parliament's Public Enterprises Committee alongside Minister Pravin Gordhan yesterday, Eskom CEO Andre de Ruyter revealed that the risk of load shedding would increase during the first quarter as a result of maintenance on its units. He anticipated that once that was done, the risk of load shedding would significantly be reduced. On to international news. A Nigerian businessman who once appeared on the cover of Forbes magazine has been jailed for 10 years in the US over a cyber fraud scam that led to the theft of some $11 million. Obunwana Okeke used Nigerian-based companies to defraud people in the US. His companies used phishing emails to steal funds from victims. They made fraudulent wire transfers to the value of nearly $11 million in 2016. Forbes Africa listed Okeke among the most influential business people under the age of 30. Buckingham Palace has confirmed that the Duke of Edinburgh, 99-year-old Prince Philip, was admitted to the King Edward VII Hospital in London on Tuesday evening as a precautionary measure. He had been feeling unwell for a few days, but not because of the coronavirus. It's reported that the Duke, who celebrates his 100th birthday on the 10th of June this year, was in good spirits in hospital where he is expected to remain for a few days of observation and rest. And now news of the jab and some facts that you need to know. South Africa at last has some good news regarding the COVID-19 vaccine. Yesterday, the country became the first in the world to roll out the Johnson & Johnson vaccine. The vaccine has so far proved to be most effective in preventing death and hospitalization due to COVID-19. And given that the new local variant dominates nearly all local COVID cases, this means it's also effective against this new variant. And only one jab or dose is required. Professor Salim Abdul Karim, chair of the Ministerial Advisory Committee on COVID-19, said a single dose is a major advantage rather than having to get two doses. He said, and I quote, "If you have a single dose, you of course also only need half the medical care infrastructure." Some protection from infection begins as early as 14 days after the jab, with full protection 28 days afterwards. Moreover, the J&J vaccine only needs regular refrigeration and it keeps for 3 months. And further good news, it will be packaged in Port Elizabeth, so it's local. Moving along to some of the sporting action right now. That's a wrap of your news.
Thank you so much, Carl. Now to look at our world of sport, and we're starting off with the rugby. And World Cup winning Springbok captain Siya Kolisi has signed for the Sharks on a multi-year deal. Now on Sunday, it was announced that Kolisi has parted ways with the Stormers and Western Province Rugby after an 11-year journey. Now the Sharks CEO, Edward Coetzee, confirmed that Kolisi won't be captain the side, and centre Lukhanyo will remain the Sharks skipper. And now moving over to cricket news, and former Proteas captain Faf du Plessis has retired from Test cricket and will focus on the 2020 format. Now in a statement, the 36-year-old said his focus is shifting to the T20 format because the next 2 years are ICC T20 World Cup years. And now du Plessis scored over 4,000 runs at an average of 40.02 in 69 Test matches for South Africa since his debut in 2012. And now moving over to our world of soccer, reigning Premier Soccer League champions Mamelodi Sundowns extended their lead at the top of the standing to 5 points after beating Barako FC 2-0 at Loftus Versfeld last night. Now the second half strikes from Gaston Serino and Peter Shalulile secured a 10th win of the PSL season for the Brazilians. Now in other results, Kaizer Chiefs were beaten 2-1 by Amazulu FC at the FNB Stadium. And the Amakosi, who remain in 9th place on the log, have now gone 4 league matches without a victory. And now sticking to the world of soccer and moving over to the English Premier League champions and league leaders Manchester City moved 10 points clear at the top of the log after claiming a 3-1 win over Everton at Goodison Park last night. Now after City's victory, they became the first team in English top flight history to win their opening 10 matches in a calendar year. Now in other Premier League results from yesterday, Burnley and Fulham both drew 1-1 at Turf Moor. And sticking with some more soccer, Erling Braut Haaland scored a first half brace as Borussia Dortmund came from behind to beat Seville 3-2 in the first leg of the UEFA Champions League round of 16 match, which took place in Spain. And now in the second fixture, Porto outplayed Italian giants Juve to win the first leg of the last 16 tie 2-0 in Portugal. And now the second leg between Dortmund and Seville, as well as Juve and Porto, will take place on the 9th of March. Now that's a wrap for our world of soccer. Moving over to tennis, where Greek 5th seed Stefanos Tsitsipas fought back from 2 sets down to reach the Australian Open semi-finals after beating world number 2 and 2nd seed Rafael Nadal. Now the 22-year-old Tsitsipas stunned Nadal in 5-set thrillers. Now it was a 3-6, 2-6, 7-6, 6-4 and 7-5 scoreline in Melbourne, with Tsitsipas facing Russia's Daniil Medvedev in the semi-finals taking place later on. And now in the women's singles draw, Carolina Muchavo fought back to stun world number 1 Ashley Barty with a 1-6, 6-3, 6-2 scoreline at the Australian Open to reach her maiden Grand Slam semi-final. Now that's a roundup of our sport for this morning. Let's find out what's happening the latest with the world and the local news on our weather. And up is Zoe.
Thank you, Ryle. Well, let's take a first look at your temperatures for today. And we also love seeing your beautiful parts of the country. And that's why we want to start off our weather segment showing off some of our viewers' talent by the photographs that they've been sending through. So we're kicking this Thursday morning off with a stunning image that was sent in from one of our regulars. That's Ntokozo Theo Makatini, showing off this moody image from Johannesburg. Now in Joburg today, you can expect a maximum of 30 degrees Celsius. And then Gary Orkamp was showing off his photography skills with this beautiful image of the sun rising over the ocean in East London. Gary, today expect temperatures to peak at 26 degrees and a 25% chance of rain. A big thank you to each and every one of you for always sharing your beautiful sunrise photos, and please continue to do so on the Expresso Facebook page. We would love to feature you in the mornings. And while we also love our local viewers, we want to acknowledge our international viewers who tune in via YouTube as well as the Africa channel in the US. We are giving you a brief update on Dover, Delaware this morning. Dover has a warm temperature climate, or a humid subtropical climate, with only over 23 days in summer reaching over 32 degrees Celsius. Brief but heavy summer thunder showers are common, while some of the coldest temperatures that can be reached are -7 degrees Celsius. And today, however, it is a winter's weather advisory that has been issued, so expect snow, sleet and freezing rain, and also accumulating 5 to 10 centimeters. Please be safe and careful if you really need to be heading out of the house, and that is of course for our international viewers in Dover. Some local news: there are 46 schools in Mpumalanga that have been damaged, and this is due to the recent heavy rain in the province. Some of the schools have not yet been able to reopen because they cannot be reached. The MEC for Education, Bonakele Majuba, says the department is trying to complete repairs as soon as possible for pupils to return to school. The Nkomazi local municipality in Malalane says it is working around the clock to restore services such as water and electricity supply and repairing roads that have been washed away. Water infrastructure was damaged and pumps have been submerged, causing a serious problem. Tankers have been dispatched to affected communities and technical teams have been deployed. The cost of the rain damage in the province is estimated at over R1 billion. Well, that's where we leave your weather news. Let's quickly look at those temperatures. Starting off in Polokwane, a low of 18 with a high of 30. Sunny in Mbumbela with a high of 31. Pretoria, partly cloudy with a low of 19, a high of 32. Johannesburg, 18, reaching a high of 30. Partly cloudy in Mahikeng, 18, 32. Klerksdorp, 14 met een maximum van 33. Kimberley, 15, 35. Bloemfontein, sonskyn kan verwag word met een minimum van 12. A maximum van 32. Now in KZN, Richards Bay, sunny conditions with a high of 32. Pietermaritzburg, also sunny, a low of 17, reaching a high of 34. Durban, 22 with a high of 30. Mthatha, expect some rain with a low of 16, a high of 29. East London, 18, 26. Cradock, sunny, reaching a high of 33. Port Elizabeth, 17, reaching a high of 25. George, sunny with a high of 23. Cape Town, some rain is expected with a low of 17, a high of 22. Worcester, 12, reaching a high of 28. Sutherland, 7 with a high of 23. And Uppington, sunny conditions with a low of 15 and a high of 33 degrees Celsius. That's where we leave your weather for now. We'll have another update at 7 o'clock.
You know what? There are things that are coming up that you need to hear. I mean, FIFA 21, that's one thing that's very, very exciting. And then we have some very, very good-looking gentlemen who will be joining us. In fact, these guys are musical royalty, in my opinion.
A saxophone, a guitarist, a vocalist,
Yes.
all the good things. You are not going to want to miss this. So stick around, of course, because after this, we're going to be chatting to something special.
Stick around.
Oh, you can make my day. It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Welcome back to your Feel Good Breakfast Show. It is Expresso on SABC3. And you know what? Valentine's Day, it may have come and gone, but we are still experiencing all of the feels during the month of love, which is February for most people. Now, powerhouse jazz musician Don Vino Prince and Richard Caesar, along with Richard's talented children, Maxine and Vaughn, they are teaming up to deliver an online showcase called Love Will Never Die Volume 1. Now, it is set to be filled with songs of love and romantic vibes, and it's taking place next week Friday. That's the 26th of February. So please give the team a warm Expresso welcome. Good morning.
Yes.
Morning, guys.
Good having you guys here.
It's good to be back so early in the morning. Yeah.
Very early, hey?
It's great. You know, this is musical royalty. I just realized that this is the first time we had a Prince and a Caesar.
I didn't even think about that.
You know, it's royal. I mean, it's a trend.
It is a
You're both on
royalty.
top of the game. I mean, it's really phenomenal to have you guys here.
Oh, amazing. Now, Richard, I'm going to start with you. I think, you know, it's amazing what you guys are doing. It has been a year regarding the pandemic, but
Yeah.
how has it affected you guys?
Oh man, I can't even begin to tell you how everything just went crazy. You know, we've lost so much work for starters. When I say lost it's a lot of work. It's money that went down the drain. He can attest to that as well. But you know, we're still standing, and by the grace of God, we're still standing. I believe that.
Yeah.
I mean, if I see of all the people that just fell along the line, and how many funerals I had to sing at, I'm still standing, and you know, it's just amazing. But I would say the biggest challenge for me was I never saw this coming. I didn't even know that what COVID was all about until I saw our lives have been taken. But Don Vino's still standing. I'm still standing. And all by the grace of God, my people. That's all I can say.
Yeah.
Amen. I love the amen,
Hallelujah.
brother. Yeah.
Hallelujah.
It's not even gospel Monday, but you gooi it in there. It's important. But you said you're still standing, and you're standing alongside somebody else who is just a phenomenal talent in the industry. And now we are holding hands. You know, we are sticking together.
Yeah.
And how important is it to actually collaborate and say, you know what? For the musicians around me, let me bring them in. Let us work together to try and put a show on. How important is that?
Yeah, it's actually really
Vital.
important, very vital, especially in this time, you know, for us to come together as musicians. And you know, there's so many dramas that's been happening in the industry, you know, and for us to come together now it's really important, you know, and that's why I'm so glad that we can put this thing together. And I'm just honored to be on the same stage as a Caesar.
Oh yes.
Ah.
Oh yes.
You know what I'm saying?
I'm honored to have a prince with me. What can I say?
And I mean, how amazing the younger Caesars are also joining in.
Yes,
That is
yeah.
quite exciting.
Yes. And we're in the month of love, and you know, it's really important to spread love. And yeah, man, and that's why this show is so amazing. And yeah, like I said, I've always wanted to do a show with Richard Caesar. Always wanted to do a show. And,
please.
and finally,
Feeling is mutual.
we're on the same stage together, and it's just been phenomenal, you know.
Yeah, and one thing I like about Don Vino, he's got such a beautiful spirit, you know, when the minute in Afrikaans I drukt his knoppie,
Yeah.
he was there, you know, he said, he didn't even think twice, he said, yes, I'm in and I'm on.
Yeah.
You know, the finances, eventually you just see money going out but not coming in kind of thing.
Yeah.
And I had to make a plan very quickly. And you know, as you get, like, I'm an older musician. I've been in the game for almost, 35, almost 40 years, give or
Sure.
take, you know. And God has been good to me in that respect, you know. And if I think about where I'm now and how other people are still struggling alongside me, I am still fairly well off, you know, because of the grace. I'm sorry I have to speak about the grace all the time.
Yes.
It is what it, can you say amen, brother?
Amen, my brother.
That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about.
And Richard,
Yeah.
what is it like for you to now also have your kids part of this? I mean, Maxine and
Oh
Vaughn.
my gosh, it's like really, it's a blessing, you know, it's a full-on blessing. And to think that I didn't want them to make music, for real, because I didn't want them to go through the same stuff I went through.
Yeah.
30, 40 years, odd years ago, I started playing music, and I made it my bed, and I'm still laying in it today. And I thought to myself, man, I don't want my kids to go through this. And my wife said, my wife being a shoulder as well, you know, she's from the also royalty of the jazz world. She said, these kids are like, they you and they me, so you can't stop them, you know. And then one day she just said to me, come listen to how Maxine sing. I never showed Maxine a thing, I promise you. This child started singing, I got such a shock, I started crying. I thought, my gosh, wow, look at this, you know. Vaughan again, just picked up the guitar like me, and he followed in my footsteps. It wasn't easy though, I had to get him off the rappers and stuff, the stuff that went against the walls, you know, what do you call these 50 cents guys and... what's the other rapper's name again, man?
It's You're
such a dad.
Yeah. And then when I looked, he ripped that posters off and he put on the George Benson posters and Stevie Wonder posters. And I thought, oh, now, you know, we're on the right track now.
Good.
Yeah.
50 Cent replacing Stevie Wonder. Yeah, that's great. But we're really excited for the show, and we are excited to see you perform a little later because, I mean, it's royalty. First time, as I was mentioning, a Prince and a Caesar on one show. But please don't miss out on this. It's a spectacle. It's a performance like no other. It's called Love Will Never Die, Volume 1. And when you hear Volume 1, it means that there will be more volumes, which makes me very excited. Friday, 26th February, and tickets are at 80 Rand each, and they're available from quicket.co.za. And I must just say that there's something very special. Not only is Don Vino very, very talented when it comes to music, apparently at FIFA 21, this man cannot be matched.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Oh, we'll see.
That's right. So we'll see very, very soon. Stick around. This is Expresso.
Absolutely love it. Now, from incredible music performances to epic gaming ones, we have something absolutely exciting in store for you. Now, when you're rated one of the coolest stationery stores in South Africa, you obviously want to keep that street cred going, right? So what better way than with a PS5 competition to make sure you get all you need for school. And you can, of course, enjoy the gaming after your homework is done. Right, so I've got gaming guru Grant Hines here in the building with us. He's going to give us all the info we need on Game Store's epic competition, obviously letting us know where we can stand a chance to win one of these 2 PS5s, and of course give us insights into why FIFA 2021 is one of the first games you need to upgrade on the PS5. Grant Hines in the building. How are you doing this morning, brother?
What an exciting day.
I know, man.
Like, it's so hard to get hold of a PS5, and now we're giving one away.
2 away, I believe, if I'm reading it correctly. Yeah, we're giving one of 2 PS5s.
Double the action.
Yeah, man.
Double the action.
So never mind that. It's giveaways. We're playing today, but let's talk about this game that we're actually playing, FIFA 2021. Why is it one of the first games that they've actually upgraded on the new console? I mean, PlayStation 5, obviously, it can do so much. What's going on here?
Look, okay, so FIFA is really popular in South Africa. A lot of people get FIFA. I know there are a lot of FIFA heads out there who are like, might not necessarily be into games, but they play a lot of FIFA.
And they love the banter as well.
They love the banter. They all think they're the best online. Everybody, I know the people at home that think, I'm the best FIFA player.
Every FIFA player thinks that, actually.
Until you play online, you're the best in your group of friends. You need a new group of friends, and that group of friends is the internet. So with PlayStation 5 comes great new improvements in what the game looks like and how it feels. So the PlayStation 5 has got this really great controller.
Okay.
It's got haptic feedback and it allows you to have responses in the trigger. So the trigger, when you pull the trigger, will actually feed back against your finger.
Oh, wow, okay.
So what they've done
like some proprioception in the fingers there, like the thumbsticks maybe a little bit harder.
That's a big word. Where did you come up with? Did you make that up? It's just going on like I know what proprioception is.
Oh yes, that word.
But it allows you to, like, for instance, if you are, I was talking to Julio now backstage. He's like the best FIFA player in the country.
Okay.
And if you guys want to play against him, you can on the show. But he was saying that what happens is if you run up against a player and you're body tackling them, the trigger will be hard to pull down because it's responding to you.
Like
that's
resistance.
real next real next generation video games.
I remember FIFA being pretty tight and intense in the midfield battle. The goals used to be a little bit easier to score. Is there a difference now in the gameplay? I mean, that sounds like those midfield battles are going to be a lot harder to kind of just keep the ball.
They have improved midfield and defense, and that was because there was people that were concerned about previous generations. And obviously, one of the things about getting a new FIFA 2021 is that the iterations are there, right? It's like you've got a whole new, roster. It's updated. You've got a new mode called Volta.
Volta, what is that?
It's actually not technically a new mode. It was a mode that was left out of previous ones, but it's like five-a-side. So you can play five-a-side street
That is like the
football.
most, that's buzzing at the moment. I think
And it
I'm
is
gonna love
so
that.
much fun. In fact, like I'm DL, that's like my favorite part of the game. But like,
Can you do all
obviously
the-
heads are like, no, you wait for Champions League. That's the big part for them. And then obviously much better improved graphics. Like when you have a PlayStation 5, like you just, the graphical engine is completely next generation. So facial expressions, how players look in the field, the fans that walk on, the whole ceremony beforehand, it just looks brand new. And remember, like the older PlayStation is now like 7 years old. You know what I mean?
wow, time
In
flies
reality,
actually, yeah.
and technology has just improved so much.
Yeah.
Better physics engines, better 3D rendering, better graphics, better frame rate. If you're playing with a high resolution TV, this is going to be 60 frames a second. So like that just means that it's just more buttery smooth. And then play against your friends online. Stop playing against like thinking that you're so cool.
I'm the best
People
in
come
my
up to me.
neighborhood.
Yeah,
I'm the
people come
best
up
in
to
the
me.
world.
Yeah, I'm so good at FIFA. I'm so good at FIFA, and it's like, no, you're
So,
not.
quick one, Grant. Who's the game for and why?
Look, if you are getting yourself a PlayStation 5, it is a great staple to have. I like to think of it as the ultimate party game because there are always people that come to the house and
Yeah.
go, hey man, do you have FIFA? It's like, I've got FIFA, don't worry. We'll play, you know, and you'll play for like 10 minutes aside and like swap the controllers.
Complaining that his controller's not working or I got lag and blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, exactly. And also if you are at school, it's great. It's a great, once you finish studying, you can play like 10 to 20 minutes. It doesn't have to be like a long, huge play session.
You can play with your friends as well, right?
Yeah, and then mom can tell you to stop getting off the console, and it's a perfect time frame to do it in.
I think it's a good incentive to finish your homework because then you can earn that reward, of course. But Grant, we're going to be chatting to you a little bit later, of course. We've got an epic day coming up for you, of course. And I've got to ask you, Grant, you're going to be playing today. Who would be your teammate if you could play with someone in FIFA?
Julio. We're playing with Julio.
Oh, really?
The Beast.
Is
He's
Julio
named
that
the
good?
Beast.
Okay.
Look, he played me last time just for funsies. I had like over 10-0, like completely dominated. He like has played with Casper Neuvest and told him what to do.
Oh, wow.
He knows what he's doing.
wow.
And if you want to play
Julio
against him, you can
set
do it
the
in Stadium
bar,
today.
people.
No, you're going to see some FIFA today. That's what I'm saying.
All right, well, guys, stick around for that. But of course, we are giving away those 2 PS2, so you can stand a chance to win. And that's courtesy of Game Stores. And all you have to do is spend 250 Rand or more in store on game stationery supplies and keep your till slip safe. Then fill in the entry form online at game.co.za and upload your till slip for a chance to win. And you will then go into the lucky draw to stand a chance to win one of 2, yes, not 1, 2 PS5s up for grabs. And your T's and C's can be found on expressoshow.com. And the competition runs until the 28th of Feb 2021. Get entering!
Only you can make my day.
Making it to 2021 is a triumph. So celebrate with Immuenza and stand a chance to win 5,000 Rand weekly for 5 weeks. Now keep boosting your immune system with Immuenza and tell us your survival story and what protected you from, say, a lion attack to a parachute fail. We want to hear your amazing stories. Reply to Immuenza's competition post on Afternoon Express's Facebook or Twitter pages. And note that this competition runs until midnight, the 17th of March 2021. T's and C's can be found on afternoonexpress.co.za.
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Welcome back to your Feel Good Breakfast Show. This is Expresso on SABC3. Now we have the author of Oink in studio. It is a cookbook about bacon sizzling in the pan for breakfast, epic Sunday roasts, potjies and braais, and it really is easy to follow recipes with the most versatile meat products in the world as the hero. And you guessed it, it is pork. Now author Billy Frostman joins us in studio this morning to tell us a little bit more about the inspiration behind his book. And of course, we are all about celebrating pork this morning with the cookbook Oink. Good morning, Billy.
Morning, morning.
I'm loving the idea that every recipe in here has some form of, I'm saying bacon, but some form of pork to it. Where did your love for pork start to create this book?
You know, I'm just, I suppose, like a typical South African. I enjoy having family and friends over, you know, catering,
Yes.
so to speak. And obviously, I love eating, and I love eating well. And pork, I think, is a little bit of an unsung hero. It's one of the proteins that people sort of shy a little bit away from. You chat to people, everyone loves bacon. Everyone loves a gammon at Christmas. Most people love to have ribs if they go out to a restaurant or something like that. But then when you start pushing the envelope a little bit and start going a little bit outside of those sort of common parts of the animal, people get a bit shy. They get a bit hesitant. They're not sure what to do.
Yeah.
And there is so much to do. It is such a versatile animal. It is from nose to tail. It is absolutely delicious. And what we thought was, let's put something out there that will just help people. I'm also one of those people, I get bored quite easily. And that same choppy on the braai, it's just like, that doesn't do it, you know. You need to do something else. And it's so wonderful if you can go into a butcher and you see something new. You see a new cut or something exciting or something different, or you see a new recipe and you think, wow, that looks delicious, I've got to try that. And we wanted to celebrate the animal, celebrate the pig, and get people excited, and to realize that from nose to tail, there is a hell of a lot you can do. And it's not difficult.
Yes, well, I like that, because I have to admit, sometimes I can misread a recipe and it's quite intimidating, but I believe yours is really easy to follow and really easy to understand.
Yeah.
And you've also teamed up with some local chefs. Tell me about why that was such an important thing to include into your book.
Well, the chefs, we broke the book down basically into 8 chapters, which is 8 different parts of the animal. And each chapter is introduced by a celebrity chef. And we wanted to show, and these chefs, you know, they love pork as well. They are enthusiasts. And we wanted to show the people of South Africa, you know, here's people that you know who love eating pork, and they're able to do it in a very simple and easy manner. So everyone gives a special recipe, but then there's a whole lot of recipes behind that in the chapter that sort of, once again, celebrate the versatility of the animal. And we've got people in there from Ruben Riffel. You know, everyone knows Ruben. He's a legend. He's an absolute gentleman. We have Emma Chen, who's in Joburg. She runs a couple of restaurants in Joburg. I've had the most amazing meals at Emma's restaurants. I mean, I think she's forgotten more about pork than we were able to cram into the book. We have Jimmy Ovenitis. Jimmy is known as the godfather of ribs. Okay. I mean, if you're ever up in Krugersdorp, you've got to go to Jimmy's Diner. He's a legend, the man and the meal. So, you know, please enjoy. And we have his secret recipe in the book.
Okay.
Which I'm not so sure Jimmy's too happy about at the end of the day. He gave it to us willingly, but I think he might regret it.
Some recipes need to be shared. You always get some people that just hold onto everything, and you're like, no, they need to share it. People want to enjoy the food. And I love that there's also what are you calling it, a flavor wheel?
Yes.
Is that now for someone to just help? Please expand that for me. Is it like to try and figure out what to pair with your different pork?
No, so what it is, once again, you know, when I said that we're trying to get people to eat more pork more often and to really have some variety, do it in a different way. So we've got basic, simple recipes. They're not complicated, but they are delicious. And they are fantastic, and they celebrate every part of the animal. But to take those recipes and now spin them even further. So we've put a flavor wheel on that. So there's 64 recipes in that book. But if you go back to the flavor wheel, you can turn it into 1,000 recipes.
Sure.
And to just give an example is, let's say there's a standard recipe for a gammon or for meatballs or pork meatballs or something like that. And we've given the herbs, the spices, the flavor, you know, profile of that dish. But we're saying, go to the flavor wheel, have a look, and there's separate countries or regions around the planet that have different herbs, different spices, different flavor profiles. Take those, so if you say Mexican, and we want to swap out the Swedish meatball dish and make it more of a Mexican meatball dish, it's easy to do. You follow the same recipe, all you're doing is you're just swapping out that flavor profile, just swapping out the herbs and spices, putting the Mexicans in for the Europeans, and in you go. You've got a whole different dish. Serve it up with some tacos or some chips or something like that. Serve it with a tequila. Have some fun with it. Put some spice into it.
Yes, definitely. But that's the nice thing about this cookbook, because like you said, it's got 64 recipes, but you can really, through that flavor wheel, change it around. Now, Billy, I believe you're not going anywhere. We're going to be cooking in the kitchen a little bit later, right?
Okay, well, I'm hungry, so.
Very exciting. And also for you at home, you can win one of 3 Oink cookbook giveaways. You just make sure you head on over to our Facebook page and comment on the Oink competition post and tell us what your favorite recipe is using pork. Some T's and C's do apply. The competition closes at midnight tonight, so stay tuned, because Billy Frostman and Richard Bosman are going to join us in the kitchen to share a recipe that is, you know, a French classic, the croque monsieur. I might be mispronouncing that right now. And also Richard will be sharing his recipe for chorizo and prawn kebabs. That's coming up on your Feel Good Breakfast show. Don't go anywhere.
Oh, does that not sound delicious indeed? Now, before we get to it, recycling technology obviously has come a long way. And these days, we can even recycle your used Nespresso capsules to give them a second life as art, or maybe even a pen, or even a bicycle. And speaking of bicycles, where's Carl at? Brother? just casual morning cycle for you, clearly.
Yes, I just wanted to. Sure, I was just.
What do you got for us today, my friend?
This is a sensational bicycle, I must just tell you. But hold on, I just wanted to get this. Can you just make me a cup of...
Oh, that's why you just came for the coffee.
Here, man, because
I see you.
I think it's coffee time, and I'm just looking for a bit of...
Sort you out,
do you have any of that Buenos Aires lungo?
I got a lungo, one lungo coming up for you, my friend. Just take it away.
Gracias, because when they say about Buenos Aires, okay, but this bicycle, sorry, the accent's gone. This bicycle actually really is one of my favorite things in the studio. It's incredible to think that it's made from, hear this, recycled capsules.
I know, Carl, I know, it is insane. And not just that, it's not just any bicycle as well. A lot of care went into creating this rolling piece of recycled art, otherwise known as philosophy, as they call it. And I think there's one more thing to do. Let's go take a look.
But I think to make something beautiful, you really have to believe in it yourself. For me, it's a question of doing something with passion. Then you have the possibility to do something that is really beautiful. If beauty comes in caring, taking care of the details, then I think Nespresso is really working within the beautiful field. I think they are extremely conscious about sustainability, and I think that is the same way for philosophy. All bikes are special to me, especially my own, but I think the Nespresso and Philosophy bike are special because they are made of recycled Nespresso capsules. And to see what you actually can do with recycled aluminium, this is what you could do with recycled coffee capsules from Nespresso. I think that is inspiring to work with. So to make this bike with recycled capsules where we blend the two brands together, you know, it's the color, it's the composition, the different materials, the cup holder basket in wood. We have designed, in my opinion, one of the most beautiful bikes ever made. And being part of that and letting my bikes be part of telling that story, I think it's great. The Nespresso capsules are endlessly recyclable, and with that you can do so many beautiful things.
It is absolutely incredible, and this amazing bicycle, it's such a hit in studio, and also a reminder that we too have to do our bit towards creating a sustainable future. And I mean, look at that bag over there that you're holding around.
Exactly, that, Carl.
That's the capsules.
This is exactly why we recycle our Nespresso capsules after the show every single day. Doing our part, yeah?
Absolutely. Thank you for the Buenos Aires lungo. This is great. I'm going to go ride out again. Thank you very much.
Cheers, brother.
Anytime. I'm actually off now.
Oh, you are? All right.
Yeah,
well,
I'm
glad you got your coffee.
Thank
Enjoy.
you very much. Thank you.
I'll see you later.
Okay. Thank you. Yes. Bye.
Only you can make my It's my feel-good breakfast show.
It's your Feel Good Breakfast Show, Expresso and SABC3, and I'm very excited about this particular moment because Julio Beast Bianchi and Kalen Moodley are among South Africa's top professional gamers, and both of them have recently qualified for the prestigious annual FIFA E-Club World Cup with a total prize pool of, and this is why I'm their friends, $245,000 up for grabs. Now joining us in studio, Julio, welcome my friend.
Yeah, good morning. It's a huge honor and a privilege for me to be here.
Oh, fantastic, man. And then also in Joburg, we have Kalen, who joins us on the studio. How's it, Kalen? How you doing, my brother?
I'm good. How are you?
Fantastic. Now, between you two, I know that this is such an achievement. I want to say congratulations for the accomplishment, but I think that you're both no strangers to competing in major FIFA events. I would like to just start with you, Kalen. Tell me a bit more about your experience on the world stage thus far.
So I only started competing last year. I qualified for 2 tournaments, one in Romania and one in Paris in February. And yeah, those are the only 2 tournaments I've played in internationally because of my age. And yeah, just really happy to keep continuing doing that this year.
Nice. Well, I mean, you are sensational apparently, because I chatted to Jules, who's here in studio, and this guy is absolutely incredible as well. I know that when it comes to FIFA rankings, there are people that you need to look out for, and at the moment, you know, Kalen's ranked 33rd at the moment, but I think there's at the beginning of the year, you told me, right, that he's close to being number 1 at the moment. Is that true?
Yeah, so basically this year we have a new ranking system, and in South Africa, me and Kalen, we are the top 2 in the whole country, and yeah, we're fighting to get the highest rank in the world.
Oh my goodness. Kalen, a little bit earlier you mentioned about your age and ranking. How old are you now?
18 now.
18 years old. Okay. This is absolutely incredible. Now, Julio, you know, you've won many top local tournaments, and I mean, you ended the FIFA 20 season as number 3 on the PS4. That's your thing, right? So tell me a bit more about some of your top achievements. I know Kalen was mentioning about his tournaments as well, but how have you been doing?
Yeah, so I've won about 15 local tournaments, official ones, in South Africa, but my standout moment would definitely be when I qualified in 2018 for a global series qualifier, which was hosted in the Netherlands in Amsterdam.
Yeah.
I played against guys I idolized in 2-time world champion August Rosenmeyer, whom I managed to beat as well. So yeah, I managed to put South African FIFA on the, on the global stage and make my family and friends really proud with that achievement.
This is why they call this man Beast. That's why. So, Kalen, from your side, the FIFA E World Cup is the pinnacle of competitive FIFA gaming. What was the qualification process like for you?
It was a bit hectic compared to usual because of the COVID restrictions that I could say. We had to play over 4 weeks just to qualify for this event, and it was very, very difficult, but we got the job done, Julia and I.
I mean, congratulations for that. I mean, it's really great to have the 2 greats of FIFA in the country on Expresso. But of course, everybody's goal for the tournament is obviously to win. And I mean, when you have these 2 very, very powerful FIFA players, naturally there's got to be competitive spirit between both of you. And I don't mean to cause any animosity, but the Beast versus Kalen, which one of you is the better player? I'll let you start, Kalen.
I think so far this year I've just had the edge over Julio, but it constantly changes between us 2.
Diplomacy, I like that. Not for too long though. We have a tournament happening in studio a little later. But from your side, Julio, I mean, you were saying earlier that Kalen is someone to be reckoned with, and obviously it is something that you want to win. And ahead of the tournament, how are you feeling?
I'm feeling great, honestly. I love competing against the best players in the world. And we have this opportunity again to play against the best from the Middle East in Zone 3. But yeah, obviously there's added pressure from the world watching. That's the biggest stage of them all. But yeah, we're feeling great. We feel on the day if we give it our best shot, we can win. And we want to come home with the trophy, of course.
I'm actually very excited to hear the South African national anthem being played ahead of a gaming tournament. That is going to fill me with pride. Kalen, from your side, just a quick anecdotal question. How many hours of FIFA do you get through a day?
Believe it or not, I only play on the weekends. I don't play FIFA during the week at all.
You know what I wanted to say? I wanted to say whatever. But it's okay. You can say on the weekend. That's all right. But, and from
Yeah,
your
that's
side,
all
Julia,
right.
how many gaming hours does it take to be like the best in South Africa?
Definitely not 20 hours out of the 24
Okay,
hours. I can
okay.
guarantee you that. But I also have studies. I'm also an accounting student at CPUT. I'm in my 4th year this year. But yeah, I dedicate most weekends to gaming. But during the week, I obviously dedicate that to my studies.
Yeah.
But yeah, all weekends, basically, I'm offline.
Do you know what I enjoy about both of you? You two are such great ambassadors because I'm sure there are a lot of new FIFA players watching thinking, I mean, if I get the most hours in, I could be like these guys. But as you could hear, there's a balance there. One is studying and doing it on the weekend. Caden, for the same for him as well. So I think there's a great message. But I would love to ask you two fantastic individuals. Caden, I'm going to start with you. Any tips that you can impart for some aspiring FIFA players, the new ones that want to be just like you guys?
Okay, I don't want to be like totally against your parents, but obviously no one wants to see their child gaming. But the best thing I could say is keep on, if you enjoy gaming, you have to game. Until I think one of the best things someone said to me was never settle for what you have and continue to get what you want. And I think wanting to be the best has definitely improved my game in FIFA. And yeah, that's what I'm doing now.
I like that because the concept remains the same. No matter what you touch, you have to aspire to be better and more, which is great. Julio, from your side, for new FIFA players, especially on the PlayStation, do you have any tips and tricks? Because I have to play against somebody later. I know you're playing one of the presenters later too, but what would be your top tip for me?
For me, just in general, speaking in general, it would be for me patience and belief when it comes to youngsters.
Yeah.
Especially, you need to believe in yourself, in your abilities. You need to be confident, and yeah. And that's what I left football. I was playing real football.
Yeah.
And I left that for something I saw in the long run. I had a goal for myself. I had a vision for myself. And I loved football. And then when it comes to you, obviously, you just need to be confident in your abilities. Stick to what you know.
Okay.
Know what you're good at, what you're not so good at.
Okay.
And rather focus on turning that to something that you're good at and trying to become the best at it, rather than focusing on your weaknesses. That's what I tend to do.
I love the message. Finesse, finesse, through ball, through ball. That's going to happen later. Thanks a lot to Julia and you, Kaylin, in Johannesburg. Julia will be playing one of the presenters, as mentioned, a little later. And, of course, that chance for you to win with FIFA 21. Stick with us.
FIFA superstars here on your Feel Good Breakfast. Your time to bring it to the kitchen now. Author of Oink, the perfect pork cookbook, Billy Forsman, joins us in the kitchen to share a French classic recipe from his book. It's called Croque Monsieur. Oh, yeah, sounds fancy, doesn't it? It's that French Bible of cooking, Larousse Gastronomique, that recommended using white bread with the crusts removed from this dish. But we beg to differ. We're going to switch things up a little bit this morning. The crust of a hearty sourdough bread adds so much to the flavor, yes, right? And it gives it one thing, or something, I suppose, to hold on to, right? Something for us to hold on to amidst the, how shall I put this, the oozings of melted cheese, creamy sauce and smoky ham. You've got my full attention, Billy.
Yes.
Wow.
Thanks so much.
That
Yeah,
sounds
for
so
those
yum.
that are hungry, hey? For those that are hungry.
That are hungry. Okay, so you were schooling me earlier on the title, the name of this recipe. It's the Croque Monsieur.
Croque Monsieur, yeah. It's a traditional French sandwich.
Okay, all right. And or otherwise known as the Madame, you said.
Now, the Croque Madame is slightly different. We're doing the Croque Monsieur. The only difference is you pop an egg on top and then it's a Croque
becomes
Madame.
a Madame.
Then it becomes
it's
a
like
Madame.
putting on a straw hat on a lady. It becomes a Madame. All right, let's get on with the recipe. You've got your ingredients here. What are they? Run us through them.
Yeah, so your basic ingredients for a Croque Monsieur is we would start with the sauce, a bechamel sauce, a white sauce, a traditional white sauce, fairly easy to make. Yeah. You would start with a bit of melted butter. We would throw the flour inside, and we would start whisking up our sauce. Obviously, those you would add a little bit of salt, a little bit of pepper.
Yeah.
What we have here is a bit of nutmeg. You know, nutmeg is the happy spice.
I love it.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
We all need a bit of happiness in our lives.
We all really do.
Yeah, so don't forget the nutmeg. It's
Okay.
important.
You'll get nowhere without the nutmeg. Don't
There we go.
forget the
Bit of
nutmeg.
happiness for everyone.
I love it.
All right, so that once we got the bechamel going, you can get it up all creamed, and then once it's ready, just sort of put it on the side, and then we would move to the sandwich.
Well, Billy, I love to learn the exact words and the terminologies for it. So you calling that a?
Bechamel. Bechamel is a white
which means
sauce. White sauce.
Bechamel.
Right.
You see, when
Yeah.
you're trying to really be impressive and you've got people over at your house, you want to be saying, I'm just quickly making a bechamel for you
Whip up
guys.
the
while you
bechamel, yeah.
Have some drinks.
There we go.
Cool. So.
And the bechamel we're going to turn into a cheese sauce.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so we have 2 cheeses here that are part of the recipe. We have a Gruyere and an Emmental.
Okay.
But as I was saying to you earlier, and when we were chatting to Zoe on the couch,
Yes.
one of the things in the book is we put in a flavor wheel.
Okay.
We want people to have fun. We want people to experiment with the restaurants. That's it.
Find your
That's it.
own. Experiment.
Right. So as you were saying, the traditional French recipe calls for a bit of French white loaf, cut the
Yeah.
crusts off, soft white bread, and you would make your croque monsieur.
Correct.
We in the book are recommending nice sourdough. Sourdough's delicious.
We love sourdough. Let's be honest. Who
It's
doesn't?
healthier, it's tasty,
Oh, no,
and I love the crust. For me, I don't cut the crust off. That's my favorite part. Kids cut the crusts off, but I keep them. Right, so, but you can use any bread. You can use brown bread, white bread, whatever you want.
Okay,
Doesn't
great.
matter. And the cheese, when we're making the cheese sauce, you don't have to use Gruyere Emmental. Throw some cheddar in, whatever you like. You want to be a bit risky, you throw a bit of brie in or something.
So whatever cheese you've got at home would be able to do.
Have some fun.
Okay.
And then obviously we're going to be making our sandwich and bacon or ham.
This looks so good.
A bit of the pork, that's, you know, the whole thing we're trying to celebrate here.
I'm a big pork fan, I'll have you know.
Is it?
Yes, big.
Good. Well,
big.
well, then you got to buy the book. You got to get. Well, that's going to be a hard call. Hard call.
You know what? We can compete. You and I. Maybe let's do a race between now and the end of the year. Let's see who makes all of the recipes out of your book. That'll be me. Awesome. So
Right, when we start with the sandwich, put a bit of mustard on.
Okay, cool.
On the inside, you're going to put your ham, your gammon, your bacon. As I said, you know, this is a great dish for leftovers.
Stunning.
You've done a pork roast. You've got a bit of loin left over in there. Great. Make some pork, some croque monsieur with that leftover pork. So the ham, the mustard. We're going to put a bit of the cheese in.
Right.
Mix it up. As I said before, any kind of cheese, use whatever cheese you want.
I love that. Listen, we've made it really easy for everyone at home to get this recipe, right? If you want the recipe, some hand sanitizer there. Go on to our website. It's expressoshow.com. It's all there with all the ingredients you're going to need. I mean, look at that. This is what it looks like when it's all done, that final product over there. And yes, it is going to be a crowd pleaser of note. You're going to have a tough time having enough bread for everyone around, because that's the type of recipe, the type of dish that everybody wants to have more and more and more of, right?
Absolutely. And as I said, this is for the hungry. So it can be for breakfast, it can be for lunch, it can be for dinner, it can be a snack in the middle of the day.
I love that.
A sandwich covered in cheese, smothered in cheese, ham. What more do you want?
So basically what you're doing now is...
So now we're taking that bechamel sauce, we're turning it into a cheese sauce. We're getting our cheese going here. We've got some nice burnt butter. We've got the flour in here. We've got our salt, pepper. We've got our happy spice.
Oh, nutmeg.
It's all going in there. And you're turning this into a delicious, delicious cheese sauce.
Oh, Billy, listen, this is fantastic. This is great. If this is anything to go by, you want to make sure that you get Oink, the perfect POC cookbook. To win one of 3 Oink cookbook giveaways, head on over to our Facebook page and comment on the Oink competition post. Tell us what your favorite recipe is, because there are many. T's and C's apply. You can find them on expressoshow.com. But please do stay tuned for another recipe from the Oink cookbook for some inspiration with Billy Forsman and Richard Bossman. I have to taste. I've sanitized my hands because I want to get involved with this.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
Okay, but you got to tuck in.
Okay, all right, let's go. Let's see what this is all about. What the fuss is all about, Billy.
Now we just need a good espresso and go with our breakfast.
Oh, but please, Billy, say that you'll never ever leave me. Always stay by my side. It's a yes. That's a yes from Billy. Thank you. Well done, Billy. This is so delicious. Expressoshow.com for the recipe.
It's my Feel Good Breakfast Show.
Welcome. This is your Feel Good Breakfast Show, Expresso. We're live on SABC3, and this is one of the most exciting moments of my career, the ability to play FIFA on national television. I can't tell you how excited I am. Grant, thank you. I just wanted to say this. I feel like you had a hand in this, and I just wanted to say, I'm actually getting emotional.
I want you to switch on your controller first.
No problem.
You see, this is how it is. I have to always tell Carl, you're so excited that you didn't have the controller
exactly. This is why I'm good. Good?
Okay, good.
Okay, ready to rumble.
Now you need to just choose an account, yeah.
Okay, I'm ready to go.
Okay, well, I am going to choose a separate account. All right. Okay, let's just get into it. So, how much FIFA do you actually play? Move over to a separate account there. Yeah, go. Choose that. Yeah, go.
Okay, done.
Have you played on a console before?
Yeah, of course. I play on a different platform, so this is interesting, but this is cool. Don Vino apparently plays, not only saxophone and other instruments, but FIFA 21 is actually one of the. But can you come in here, please? I
think if you've got what it takes.
Oh, he's lying.
I want you to just come and enjoy this moment, because I understand that sometimes the saxophone, there's a lot of things to press.
Yeah.
But But with this over here, it's a different ball game, isn't it?
Exactly. Yeah.
Excuse the pun.
Thank you very much.
I saw you.
Yes.
You crossed it.
And you scored.
I scored. That's right.
So how often do you play?
Not anymore that often. My son plays a lot now, and he kicks my behind. So I don't know.
Okay.
I'm going to fare here. Let me just check.
Okay, cool. So once you get us started.
Okay, just press X all the way. Let's go. Let's
just go straight in there.
Let's not worry about teams. Let's not worry about teams. Let's not do any of that stuff. Press X.
Okay, who is your normal team to play along with?
Chelsea.
Oh, is it?
Okay,
perfect.
5 stars. Whatever's 5 stars.
5 stars.
Liverpool's out there. 5 stars. Let's go.
Okay, while we get set up, I'm just going to say Don Vino, he's going to put really where his controller, where his mouth is a little later, and test his skills at FIFA 21. And of course, hopefully a saxophone a little later. So please stick with us. We are going to do a FIFA 21 tournament for you right now. So let's get this game started.
Play Max,
yeah.
I'm excited.
All right.
I just want to know if the skills translate all the way through. We'll see.
Oh, we'll see.
Okay, but you continue playing. Don Vino Prince.
I've played against Carl before, and Carl, like, if Don is not, it's just average, you're dead.
Okay, well, the news is that a saxophonist is playing FIFA 21. The other news is available to you right now on Expresso. Take a look.
And it is time for us to take a look at those news headlines at 7 o'clock here on your Feel Good Breakfast Show. We start off here in South Africa, where the Vaal River system, on which approximately 19 million people depend for drinking water and commercial use, is polluted beyond acceptable standards. This is the findings of the South African Human Rights Commission, which set up an inquiry into long-existing problems in the river system. The report released yesterday stated that the flow of raw sewage into public streets and homes poses a major health hazard and an obvious violation of people's right to dignity. It also impacts negatively on natural ecosystems and on the economy. Sister Zoliswa Gidi-Josi of Cape Town became the first South African to receive the Johnson & Johnson COVID-19 vaccine at the Khayelitsha Hospital yesterday. Gidi-Josi was part of a contingent of healthcare workers that received the first doses of the Johnson & Johnson jabs and will now undergo a period of medical observation. Yesterday afternoon, President Cyril Ramaphosa and Health Minister Zweli Mkhize were also administered their jabs at the same hospital. Ramaphosa urged all healthcare workers to register to receive their vaccinations, as they were the first in line of defense. In international news, the United Nations Security Council yesterday discussed the role that member states have in ensuring that coronavirus vaccines are also made available in countries where conflict occurs. More than 160 million people worldwide who are suffering from conflict, instability and other disasters have limited access to vaccines. The Security Council is considering ways to bridge this gap, and concerns are growing about unequal access to the vaccine. According to UN figures, 120 countries have not yet received the vaccine, while 10 have obtained only about 75%. A Nigerian businessman who once appeared on the cover of Forbes magazine has been jailed for 10 years in the US over a cyber fraud scam that led to the theft of some $11 million. Obinwane Okeke used Nigerian-based companies to defraud people in the US, and his companies used phishing emails to steal funds from victims. They made fraudulent wire transfers to the value of nearly $11 million. In 2016, Forbes Africa listed Okeke among the most influential business people under the age of 30. And now a duck named Duck is taking Australia by storm. Often one hears expressions such as "get your ducks in a row," or "it's like water off a duck's back," or "can a duck swim?" and of course so on. And on Australia's Gold Coast, a duck, endearingly named Duck, has become a surfing phenomenon where he's frequently seen riding the waves of Rainbow Bay. Owner Kate Miller adopted Duck to lift her spirits during the coronavirus pandemic, and she never dreamt that she would be raising a true celebrity. She says she can write a book on people's reactions. Everyone's amazed and intrigued, and Duck always draws a crowd. Duck has indeed given true meaning to the expression, taking it like a duck to water. Of course, especially when Kate took Duck to the beach for surfing outings, and he quickly took to the water like a tree duck. And when Kate catches a wave, Duck follows suit and wallows in the water, leaving onlookers gobsmacked. I mean, that is spectacular. He loves to surf so much that he senses when Kate is headed for the beach. And when she opens a bottle of sunscreen, Kate says she honestly believes that he can smell it. So we leave it for now. Here's a look at what's happening in the world of sport with Carl.
Action could be rugby, could be cricket, and in cricket, of course, there are ducks. Moving along to rugby. Rugby World Cup winning Springbok captain Siya Kolisi has signed for the Sharks on a multi-year deal. On Sunday, it was announced that Kolisi has parted ways with the Stormers and Western Province Rugby after an 11-year journey. Sharks CEO Edouard Coetzee confirmed that Kolisi won't be captaining the side. Centre Kanye Am will remain the Sharks skipper. On to cricket. Former Proteas captain Faf du Plessis has retired from Test cricket and will focus on the 2020 format. In a statement, the 36-year-old said his focus is shifting to the T20 format because the next 2 years are ICC T20 World Cup years. Du Plessis scored over 4,000 runs at an average of 40.02 in 69 Test matches for South Africa since his debut in 2012. Reigning Premier League Soccer League champions, that is Mamelodi Sundowns, extended their lead at the top of the standings to 5 points after beating Baroka FC 2-0 at the Loftus Versfeld last night. The second half strikes from Gaston Serino as well as Peter Sataluli-Lile secured a 10th win of the PSL season for the Brazilians. In other results, Kaizer Chiefs were beaten 2-1 by Amazulu FC at the FNB Stadium. The Amakosi, who remain in 9th place on the log, have now gone 4 league matches without a victory. Staying with football, but abroad, defending English Premier League champions and league leaders Manchester City moved 10 points clear at the top of the log after claiming a 3-1 win over Everton at Goodison Park late last night. After City's victory, they became the first team in English top flight history to win their opening 10 matches in a calendar year. In other Premier League results from yesterday, Burnley and Fulham drew 1-1. That was at Turf Moor. And Erling Haaland scored a first-half brace, as Borussia Dortmund came from behind to beat Sevilla 3-2 in the first leg of the UEFA Champions League round of 16 matches in Spain. In the second fixture, Porto outplayed Italian giants Juventus to win the first leg of the last 16 tie 2-1 in Portugal. The second leg between Dortmund and Sevilla and Juventus and Porto will take place on the 9th of March. Over to the tennis world, a Greek fifth seed, that is Stefanos Tsitsipas, fought back from 2 sets down to reach the Australian Open semi-finals after beating world number 2 and 2nd seed Rafael Nadal. The 22-year-old Tsitsipas stunned Nadal in a 5-set thriller 3-6, 2-6, 7-6, 6-4 and 7-5 in Melbourne. Tsitsipas will face Russians Daniil Medvedev in the semi-finals. In the women's singles draw, Karolina Mokova fought back to stun world number 1 Ashley Barty 1-6, 6-3 and 6-2 at the Australian Open to reach her maiden Grand Slam semi-final. That's a wrap of your sport for now. Let's move over to some weather. Here's Zoe.
Thank you, Carl. Now, we've asked you to send through your sunrise images, and you have certainly pulled through. A big thank you to Milani Erasmus from Kimberley, who shared this beautiful image of the sun lighting up the clouds in her area. Kimberley will be experiencing a hot 35 degrees Celsius today, so keep your SPF handy if you are heading outdoors. And one of our regulars, Verity Barnes Herbert, shared this golden and blue sky from Riebeek West. Now, you can today expect a pleasant day with intervals of sunshine and clouds, peaking at a maximum of 27 degrees. Now, if you would like to be featured on our sunrise segment, all you need to do is head on over to the Expresso Facebook page and share your photo there. And we also like to include our international viewers who tune in via YouTube and the Africa channel. And we're giving you a weather update for Tripoli in the African country of Libya. Tripoli experiences hot and dry, prolonged summers with temperatures often exceeding 38 degrees Celsius. And today's forecast starts at a cool 9 degrees. Expect abundant sunshine with a mild maximum of only 18 degrees. And then the South African Weather Services forecasts a bright and sunny day for virtually the entire country today. But in the US state of Texas, the picture is rather bleak. The unprecedented huge winter storm sweeping across the state still dominates global weather news. The death toll last night was at least 21, and millions are without power. Texas has also suffered widespread blackouts as the energy grid has been overwhelmed by a surge in demand. Millions of people in the state, which almost never experiences low temperatures of up to minus 20 degrees Celsius, are battling to cope with the lack of power and frigid conditions. The cold snap in Texas is so severe that it even tricked a weather satellite into malfunctioning. The GOES East satellite mistook the ground in Texas for clouds because it was so cold. The extreme weather is forecast to continue until the weekend. Well, that's where we leave your weather news for now. Let's quickly look at your temperatures here in South Africa. In Polokwane, sunny conditions with a low of 18, a high of 30. Mbombela 18, 31. Pretoria 19, 32. Johannesburg 18 with a high of 30. Partly cloudy in Mahikeng today with a high of 32. Klerksdorp 14 met 'n maximum van 33. Kimberley 15, 35. Bloemfontein sonskyn met 'n maximum van 32. Heading over to KZN and Richards Bay, sunny conditions with a high of 32. Pietermaritzburg 17, reaching a high of 34. Durban 22, reaching a high of 30. Mthatha 16 with a high of 29. Partly cloudy in East London today with a high of 26. Cradock sunny with a low of 12, a high of 33. Port Elizabeth 17, reaching a high of 25. George 14, 23. Cape Town 17 with a high of 22. There's also a 55% chance of rain in Cape Town today. Worcester partly cloudy, reaching a high of 28. Sutherland 7 with a high of 23. And Uppington expects sunny conditions with a low of 15 and a high of 33 degrees Celsius. That's where we leave your weather for now. We'll have a final update at 8 o'clock.
So as you can see, the FIFA 21 Gees has begun right here on Expresso, and coming up, some interesting battles between professionals as well as some of the presenters and some of the celebs we've invited as well. So please stick around for that. FIFA 21 right here on Expresso, and of course a chance for you to win. How am I doing? No, oh, okay, all's out. Stick around.
Free as a breeze is the new Suzuki Vitara Brezza. Now, the dream of owning this freshest SUV is as real as the touchscreen with reverse camera and automatic climate control that make you right at home in the sun or in the snow. Starting at 244,900, it's got looks to burn, practical options from cooled upper glove box to keyless entry with push-start LED projector headlamps with daytime running lights and cruise control. In your new Suzuki Vitara, it just gets Brezza.
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Welcome back to it. It is your feel-good breakfast show, Expresso. We're live here on SABC3 on this beautiful, beautiful Thursday morning. Yes, it's all about gaming today. And while we love to indulge in the escapism and the fantasy that is brought to us by the exciting world of gaming, we don't really spare a thought on the real-world legalities surrounding games while we're playing them. And we're calling once again upon the legal guidance of our friend and expert in law, director at legalese.co.za, Eitan Stern, to answer the question, I want to be involved in the gaming world, so now what? Eitan, good morning.
Good morning. I honestly feel like we're talking about now the boring side of the whole gaming world.
Well, sometimes
sorry about
you have
that.
to bring the balance, right? It's about finding that balance. Yes, it's all fun and exciting, but there are certain illegalities to it.
There definitely are, but I think also at the same time, I noticed this industry is just booming.
Totally.
There's so many people being involved from so many different aspects.
Yeah,
They're
100%.
playing, talking about, reviewing games.
Selling.
So, yeah, exactly. So, I mean, where does this all start when it comes to monetizing gaming, number one? Can you actually monetize it if I was something trying to get involved? And am I going to be taxed on what I make? I mean, what's going on here?
So totally. So it's a big industry. I mean, we even landed up hiring a gaming lawyer at Legalese.
Are you serious?
And we kind of cater specifically for gamers and gaming companies
Wow.
because it's a booming industry. So you can make money on lots of different aspects of the industry. For one, obviously, creating games is a very lucrative area, and there's some South African games that have done very well internationally. Then also gamers. There's lots of ways for gamers to monetize their gaming through YouTube streaming, and YouTube allows you access to the advertising profits, to Twitch, where you can watch people play games, as I'm sure you guys know, and people can you can charge for subscriptions. So you can charge people to watch. Is it earnings? Is it revenue? It's definitely revenue, and so SARS considers it revenue. So if you're making money from gaming, that's taxable revenue, whether you're making it in South Africa or it's been held abroad. SARS considers that as taxable revenue.
Well, I'm still stuck on the fact that you've had to go hire a gaming lawyer. Or that there is such a thing as a gaming lawyer.
I'm a gaming lawyer.
To be fair, I think it was one of our commercial lawyers that played games so much that eventually we're like, okay, we'll get you some gaming clients.
I love it. When it comes to games and age restrictions, are they legally required and obligated to place legal restrictions on who can play those games, who can consume and buy those games?
Yeah, 100%. So that's an issue that every country is going to deal with. In South Africa, age restrictions are managed by the Film Publication Board. It's the same people that manage it for movies. And so, you'll see your age restrictions on movies, and they put age restrictions on games. And they decide what age people are allowed to watch. So certainly there's a category for every country where they restrict it. But ultimately, like with everything, it's up to parents to decide what games their kids are and aren't allowed to play. But that's all guided by the FPB, the Film Publication Board.
Okay. Now, look, you're speaking about restrictions, and I mean, let's talk about more of these restrictions when it comes to maybe pirating. I mean, we see it in the film industry, we see it in movies. And sometimes you see it in gaming as well. So I know there's pros and cons to it, but I mean, the main question is, if I'm pirating a game, what's going to happen to me?
So there's no pros to it.
There's no pros. Surely pirating is
this serious.
We're on live TV, buddy.
Raul, you're exposing yourself.
Why I say that was because a lot of people that I knew would say to me, I pirated a game, I don't need to pay this much. And I was like, well, you can't play online, you can't upgrade the game.
Yeah, so
you think it's a pro because you're paying for a cheap game, but you're not getting
the full access.
Full access, no benefits. What's the point?
Cool. So as far as there's been intellectual property, which is like property of the mind, movies, art, music, games, people have tried to find ways to get it for free. So The answer is you're not allowed to do it. IP, intellectual property, a game, music, anything, it's owned by whoever created it. So by the gaming studio, by the film studio. And as much as people have tried to find ways to pirate these things and downloading, the studios have tried to find ways to stop people from doing that. So the subscriptions is a great way because you can stop people getting updates or access to all the features. So, it's everyone's kind of choice out there. The overall view against gaming is going to be, well, it's illegal, but also if you pirate your games, it means the studios aren't going to make money from creating them, so there's less incentive. So there's that sort of built-in incentive to pay for the IP that you're using.
And clearly sounds like a big ecosystem of people involved in making these games, right? So you think a studio or network that makes games is just that, but there are so many people involved. You've got the Grant Hines of this world who've got to be getting paid for the work that they put into that space. You've got people who develop them and all of that.
You got the gaming lawyers.
You've got the gaming lawyers who clearly aren't cheap. I mean, look at Eitan. I mean, rolling up here looking all so cool. But tell me, Eitan, what games are you playing at your office at the moment? Because that's what you guys
we call it R&D at the office.
Okay, well, so funny. I mean, believe it or not, I don't play any games. The last game that I had I didn't actually have to play PlayStation. I had a friend when I was younger. But I'm not a gamer. When we started getting to gaming work, I was forced to start looking at PUBG, which I played. I was actually very proud of myself. I came 10th, and I messaged one of my myself. I came 10th, and Kyle's response was, "I win it on a regular basis." I was like, "Cool." But
killed all the thunder.
Yeah, but I know that. I'm very embarrassed. I can't tell you what games they're playing at the office, but they're.
But they're always playing something. There's always something.
Yes, there's always something being played. There's games being swapped and paid for each other. So gaming's a big part of the culture at Legalese. I actually feel I should get more involved in it.
It seems like the world is forcing everyone to. Well, guys, of course, stick around. We're still going to be chatting more about what is happening now when it comes to gaming. And, of course, Eitan Stern will be taking us through the magic.
So on social media, we asked you who would be on your FIFA team, given the fact that there's quite a nice FIFA 21 vibe and a chance for you to win today right here on Expresso. And I'd love to go through some of your comments that you've given us on Facebook. I would like to pronounce all of these names. However, we do have somebody who is an expert at pronouncing football names. That is Zoe Brown.
Okay.
Right.
I'll try. So Michael Alexander is clearly a big United fan because he said on his team he would love to have De Gea, Luke Shaw, Virgil van Dijk, Eric Bailey, Van Bassika, Rashford, Bruno Fernandes, Pogba, Cristiano Ronaldo, Fred, and Cavani. Did I say that right?
I mean, there were a few in there, but I just like the way you said it. I think they need to start saying their names like you just said their names. So
which one did I butcher?
De Gea is there.
No, but you
Eric
always pronounce it weird.
Wan-Bissaka. Bruno Fernandes. They always go Fernandes because he's Portuguese.
Okay.
It's like that, but that's perfect. The way you said it now, you should be a commentator. You should totally
imagine that.
Yes, vuvuzelas and everything. It'll be great. And then the next one is another comment that came through is from Luyanda that said, "I would like to pick Kevin De Bruyne."
Ooh.
That is such a good option there. I think Kevin De Bruyne is a phenomenal player. So well done. I think you need to add a couple more. So please feel free to throw in some more of those Facebook messages related to which individual you put in your FIFA team or which team, as you saw in the comments earlier.
Yes. Well, I actually said I would pick you. Who would you pick on your team?
On my team, I'd probably just pick all the Real Madrid players, but I do know that some of them actually are gamers. But I think Karim Benzema would definitely be on my team, 100%.
There we go. Well,
what
we
about
would
you?
love to hear from you. Remember that hashtag Expresso Show.
I think I definitely choose these two gentlemen over here. It might not be a win, but it's going to be a definite, enjoyable performance, of course. Now, we've got a morning full of soulful, jazzy performances coming up right your way, and we're kicking it off with Don Vino and on the sax, of course, and Richard Caesar on the guitar as they perform an instrumental of the 1993 gospel track "Love Will Never Die." Gentlemen, take it away.
1, 2, 3.
Some feel that it's hard to say I love you. Others feel that love is dead and gone. If you thought that love will help you face tomorrow, then I hope these words to see the situation. It's enough to make me hang my head in shame. And without the hope of knowing love's the answer, I would feel that we would conquer any trail. Love will never die. No, your heart won't ever hear the words goodbye. Only love can open your eyes. So look around and let someone know love's alive. Love will never die. No, your heart won't ever hear the words goodbye. Only love can open your eyes. Look around and let someone know love's alive. Here we go. 'Cause every time I wake up, love surrounds me, and it stays with me from sunrise till the shining moonlight. When we get discouraged, there's a tiny voice that whispers, says to me, remember, yes, only love, only love, only love. Oh, oh, yeah, yeah, won't you play it one more time? Play it one more time. Yes. Oh, yeah, yeah. Yeah, yeah. Love will never die. You know your heart will never hear the words goodbye. Only love can open your eyes. So look around and let someone know. Let me say it one more time. Look around and let someone know. Yeah, play it one more time. Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. Love's alive. Yes.
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Welcome back to it, your feel-good breakfast show, Expresso Live on SABC3. We're continuing our discussion with lawyer and our friend, our legal eagle here on your feel-good breakfast show, director at legalease.co.za, Eitan Stern, as he really breaks down the legal ins and outs of game development and the gaming world. Eitan, it's good to have you still. We really are asking you all the very interesting and the fun questions.
It's a cool topic this
It's such
morning.
a fun one.
It is, and I've got a really cool example about a topic which I wanted to ask you about.
Yeah.
So there's this game that was recently launched, was Cyberpunk 2077,
Yes.
which had massive anticipation, but apparently, according to viewers, players, not happy at all, and a lot of people actually wanting refunds in the end. So what happens in a situation like that when I'm buying something digital and I'm actually not happy with the purchase? Am I maybe protected? Is the Consumer Protection Act coming into place? So what's the whole deal there, man?
Okay, so certainly in South Africa, if you buy something and it doesn't live up to the standards that you would expect, you've got the Consumer Protection Act to protect you. The problem is with Cyberpunk and with other games is that you're generally purchasing from foreign companies, so you're not protected by the Consumer Protection Act or South African law, because the companies won't be based here. But with all the different platforms that sell the games, like Sony or Cyberpunk Studio, I don't know who released it, they have terms and conditions, and they around the terms which you can buy the games. And if you're buying something that's faulty, that platform will have terms around their refund policy. So with Cyberpunk, a lot of people got refunds. The game was quite buggy, and Sony and actually can't remember what the other major distribution platform is, but they gave refunds to people. So certainly if you buy a game and it's not working, you can always try contact whoever you bought it from, the distributor, or the app store, or even the game developer, and try to get a refund. And of course, if it's a South African game, then you could look to the
But
CPA.
you're mentioning obviously those terms and conditions are obviously what's important, right?
Yes, because when you sign up and you click accept for terms and conditions, and the truth is, and we've spoken about this,
Do you read
who
it,
reads
Tosh?
them?
Do you read it?
I know I don't read them. Because, they are long.
The only one that reads them is Thomas from our office, because he drafts them. But no one else
And
besides
you
Thomas.
for reviewing. I mean, come on.
I don't need to review Thomas's work personally.
But what exactly are we accepting? What are we signing ourselves into when we do that?
Cool. So it's like any contract. You're saying, look, I'm going to use this game, and here's the rules by which I accept to use the game. So it will contain stuff like, what's the game going to do with your data, which we spoke about last week. What's it going to do with your data? You're agreeing to not try and modify the game at all, not try back engineer or to use the code for anything. You're agreeing to your conduct on the game. So a lot of people on these games, the games are going to have ways that you can talk to other players, etc. So you agree to your conduct, that you're not going to be racist or sexist, etc. So there'll be a whole, there'll definitely be a refund policy. There'll be a policy around what to do if there's a dispute, if you have a dispute with the developer. So anything that a game developer wants you to agree to when playing the game, there'll definitely be something to say. You're not going to hold the game developer liable if you have nightmares from the game, or don't enjoy
or you just don't enjoy it,
or you break your thumb trying to play play Xbox. You're not going to hold the developer liable, which I want to say is a crazy example, but I'm willing to bet it's happened somewhere out there. That someone's trying to,
where someould always on standby.
Yeah, so whether you read them or not, those are what the terms govern. And in the situation that something goes wrong, you would have those terms to refer back to. So it's not the end of the world that you don't read them, but it's quite important that they're there. So certainly for game developers or anyone putting out content, games out there, they need to make sure they have terms in place.
Well, yeah, maybe just read it, just to be sure. Now, look, I've got a question from another side of this, the whole gaming world.
Sure.
We're talking about the consumer end, but what about the developing end? If I'm a gaming developer, how am I protected from my game being, like you mentioned, my code being stolen, someone picking up on the idea and just creating a better version of it? Am I protected at all in that sense?
Great question. And with Cyberpunk recently, the game developer, people were furious about it. The game developer got hacked, and they stole the code, and they're now holding it ransom.
Oh, wow.
So the stuff does happen. So certainly, if you're a game developer, it's a very important thing to be thinking about. What do you do to protect your IP? And what you need to do is you need to, first of all, secure your IP properly. Secondly, any of the code that you develop will be your code to own, but it's important that you don't let, as you are starting to speak to people about the game and try to distribute it, so that you don't let anyone have access to the code or to the ideas behind the game. So, putting any intellectual property out into the world, there's always this kind of built-in conundrum. You don't want to share too much of it because it can get stolen, but you also can't build your product until you've shared it. So there's always this kind of balancing act to play. Come chat to our gaming lawyers. That's on.
I was about to say, I feel like if I was able to do anything, I'm just going to give you a call and legalese.co.za, of course. They'll sort it out for me.
I need to just go print out all the T's and C's from the previous game that I bought. I mean, I need to go buy some paper first. But thanks so much, Aitan, for hanging out with us and for sharing all of this. Weigh in on the chat, please. Expresso Morning Show, SABC3, hashtag Expresso Show. Let us know what you think of the legal side when it comes to the world of gaming. It's a very interesting conversation.
Well, speaking of gaming, that is about to go down because Simon Audrell is more than just a funny person. Not only your typical comedian either, his sketch videos reach massive social media audiences and are regularly shared in WhatsApp conversations. But this morning, this creative mind joins us to battle it out against the one and only Carl Wastie in our FIFA 21 online tournament. Now, let's see if this funny man will be able to laugh his way out of this one. Good morning, Simon.
Good morning. How are you guys doing this morning?
I'm doing good. I think the big question is, how are you doing today?
I was a bit scared because I saw that Julia Bianchi invited me, and I was like, oh my word, am I playing him instead of Carl? Because Jochen would absolutely destroyed me because I know all about him in the FIFA scene. Wow.
Okay. And now, with Wastie being your competitor, how you feel about that?
I don't know. I've never seen Carl play. I've played with him when I played fives. He played in the tournament once or twice before. He's very good, but let's see how he does on FIFA. I know Raul as well. And Raul used to come over to my place, and we used to give him the controller that was unplugged because we both used to live in Heathfield.
Okay,
and
my
so
brother did that to me. That is mean.
Yeah, he's a bit younger than us, so we used to kind of like just look after him, but yeah, he's not that good.
Oh my
Wastie, how are you feeling? Are you ready for this?
I love Simon, by the way. You know you're my boy, but at the same time, when it comes to FIFA, things change between friends. You know how it goes. When you invite somebody over, things completely. You can be best friends, even cousins, but that person will be chased out if you beat them. So I'm looking forward to this one, my brother.
Okay, well, let's get the game started.
Cool,
I think a lot of people are very excited to see the two of you playing. I'm going to be keeping score, as you can see. I have Team Carl ready. I have Team Simon. Gave you a little bit of a bow tie. And then Carl's got the little mohawk going. And, of course, for the ladies out there, I added a flower to our FIFA scoreboard. Are you ready?
Yeah, so I wanted to give you an idea of just setting it up from the beginning, from the get-go, just to make sure you know exactly how this rolls. And we're going to get the connection set up very, very soon, and then Simon and I will be doing just a little game against one.
So do you pick the team you want to be?
We do. Yeah, we just pick any team, so we can go straight through. We're not going to do team management, Simon. We're just going to go straight in, brother. Yep, outfits are sorted.
That's cool.
And then we're just going to play the match, and let's see what happens.
Okay.
I'll be very honest, Simon. I'm nervous because if I'm in social media, you're unpredictable. So I feel like FIFA's going to be the same vibe.
Okay, here we go.
Okay.
Yeah.
Here we
so
go.
is it just penalty
I
shootouts?
see Grant at the back there as well. So good morning to Grant walking around there.
Yes, Grant's been a right-hand man. Okay, cool. So, Wastie, is that you?
Yeah, this is the arena where we're loading and we're connecting. I just hope that how's your Wi-Fi there, brother?
I'm good. I've got some good fiber.
Oh, you got good fiber? Okay, that's fine. Otherwise, I would have bought you data now.
Okay.
I would have been there. Okay.
So now, is the tournament starting?
Yes, okay, the game is about to start, and here we go. It's PSG
versus
Bayern Munich, exactly.
There we go. And Bayern's in white.
Yeah.
See?
And I mean, this is I love this game. It just brings friends together, and Simon's in another place at the moment. I don't know what he does this early in the morning.
Oh, I'm normally sleeping this time still. That's it, yeah.
Yeah, but playing online this early is great. Obviously, you'd use Mbappe to do that, obviously, but then the keeper comes out, man,
Sorry, I just delivered
the keeper comes out because obviously Mbappe is a threat. So I'm not going to try and reduce the threat of Mbappe because he was so great the other evening.
Well, if our viewers are wondering how they can be part of the action, we asked you for your PlayStation is it the code or the name, your ID tag? Yes. So share that with us on the Expresso Facebook page, and we will be able to add you to our game if you would love to play along. There we go.
Oh, you know what we need to do? We have this thing that's called Pro Clubs, and it's also on FIFA. And like a lot of mates, we get together and we play against other people online, and I promise you, it's the most fun thing. Everybody chooses a position, and you just have a jolt and you laugh, and it's so much fun.
Okay. Simon, how much time do you dedicate to playing?
Sorry.
FIFA, not so much. I play a lot of Fortnite.
Okay. And you, Wasty?
Yeah.
You play a lot.
This is like my unwind thing, so I don't get a chance to play as often as I want to, but at the same time, I think it's just, it's exciting.
Okay.
It really is.
Well, you keep on playing because I need to remind you at home, you don't forget that you stand a chance of winning yourself one of 2 PS5s courtesy of game stores. Now, all you have to do is spend 250 Rand or more in store on game stationery supplies, and remember to keep your till slip safe. Fill in the entry form online, that is at game.co.za, and upload your till slip for a chance to win. You will then go into the lucky draw to stand the chance of winning one of 2 PS5s. T's and C's can be found on our website, that's expressoshow.com, and the competition runs until the 28th of Feb this year, so get those entries in. See, the thing with football is you have to be so patient. It's not like a rugby score where I don't know why I'm sitting here with a pen.
What? So are you comparing football and rugby here? Okay. Yeah.
At least at rugby it changes a bit quicker.
Oh my, what?
I'm still going to put a big 0 there. There we go.
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Welcome back to your feel-good breakfast show, Expresso. We're bringing it back to the kitchen. Time for some more cooking inspiration. And one of the contributing chefs in the cookbook, Oink, Richard Bosman, joins us in the kitchen to show us how to make the most delicious chorizo and prawn kebabs recipe. Oh, yes. Richard, so good to have you here. And of course, Billy, you're still hanging around, making sure that we're bringing all these recipes to life.
No, it's great.
But we're in good hands because, Richard, you are, I believe, the master of the art of... What's the word you taught me?
Charcuterie.
Charcuterie, which means what, basically? It's about curing meat.
Oh, okay, cool.
Thousands of years old. It's a practice that was used to preserve meat, using salt and drying it out.
Wow.
In this country, we have a tradition of biltong, but in the Mediterranean, they would use a lot of pork products and make things like parma ham and pancetta and bacon and chorizo from Spain.
Richard is a very, very important man to have in the meat world, and certainly the guy you want to be learning and taking some inspiration from. This recipe is exciting. Let's get on with it.
Right.
Richard is the master.
Yeah, bro.
He's the master.
That's it.
Thank you. I'll take your word for it. We're going to start off, and one of obviously the key ingredients is going to be this chorizo. There is a recipe on how to make your own chorizo in the book. It's my own cooking chorizo recipe. Our intellectual property that we're giving to you if you buy the book.
No
terms and conditions
there are really
apply.
no T's and C's to print out. You are accepting only the world of goodness. Okay, great. So what other recipes or ingredients have you got?
We've got some beautiful prawns that we're going to be using combined with the chorizo, and following through on the flavors. Chorizos are very strongly flavored. It's got a lot of chili and spices and paprika and garlic. We've got some red peppers and some onion that we're going to be using on the kebabs just to give it a little bit of texture and additional flavors. We're going to use a little of smoked paprika to dress it at the end.
I love it. Let's go.
And it's as simple as that.
Let us go.
So we're gonna start
look at that. A man of meat curing. These are the tools of the trade.
Indeed, you got to have a good sharp knife. You got to have a good sharp knife. And I'm going to cut this. We want 2 to 3 centimeter thick pieces.
Okay. And I mean, a part of what you're really good at, I suppose, is being able to handle any sort of knife in the kitchen. I mean, this is...
You have to, but it's got to be sharp. And you've got to look after them, never put them in the dishwasher, clean them when you've finished using them.
Yeah. Okay.
And we're going to start off with a piece of chorizo, which we're going to straight on like that.
Billy, while you're doing that and we're watching you do that, Billy, maybe you can take me through the journey of really compiling all of these inspiring recipes and putting them together. You have had a wealth of kitchen experience. Choosing which recipes to include and which ones not to include must have been a difficult one for you.
Well, it was very difficult, but it was also a lot of fun. And it was one of those COVID stories, actually, that sort of came out. When we started with the book, it was just when lockdown happened. And we thought, oh my gosh, we are going to be in such trouble now. Because how are we going to put this book together? We can't move out of our houses. But it actually, with the reverse happened. We had a whole group of people, pork lovers from Lincoln Meats in Joburg, who were part of a WhatsApp group, and they cooked every day over that lockdown, and the most amazing meals. And we just said to the guys, just show us what you got. Show us, show us your metal. Give us any recipe, everything. And we had an enormous amount of fantastic, wonderful recipes that came out of that process. And if you go through the book, you'll see some of the recipes have people's names on it. You'll see there's Jason's pork cheeks, there's Renata, there's, there's different people. And those came out of that sort of COVID camping, cooking in your own home type of thing. That's one of the ways we got to build up this book.
Yeah, and there really are some incredible stories to tell that come out of this experience, this sort of experience. I mean, I'm seeing Melanie there as well's recipe. This is great, and it seems very straightforward and simple enough. I don't know if it's because you're handling it, Richard, and you make everything look so easy, but this looks good, because all you're doing now is you've got the chorizo there, and then you've got the prawn, and then, of course, the red pepper, back to the chorizo. Okay, so it's pretty...
The key in this restaurant, Richard, is in this recipe.
Will feel like
the way Richard does it. The key of this recipe is the quality of the ingredients. And Richard's products are unbelievable. They, across the board, it's the best charcuterie you can get. And I mean, that chorizo, I buy it from Richard all the time off his app, and it's fantastic. It's delicious.
And then we've got to fry it.
Yeah.
Right, then we've got to fry it. We're going to cook it over here. And just to come back to the flavor wheel that you were talking about earlier. When you make the chorizo, if you do it at home, you've got the recipe. You don't have to stick to those specific ingredients. You can make it without the chili. If you wanted to do a milder, sweeter version of it, you could just do a plain pork sausage, with nutmeg and sage or any kinds of other ingredients. You don't have to stick.
I love that. I love that on the book you've got like for example, you'll tell us what how many people the recipe will feed or serve. Prep time, 3 hours, the amount of time you will need from start to finish. Cook time, 10 to 15. Skill level as well, which becomes important. So when the person is going through the book, they can go, oh, my skill level, skilled. This one's for me. This is really stunning. Well done. So while that's going, this is what the final product looks like over there. Yes, it's right there, and it looks really, really good.
We've got something for you to try.
Ready to get into. This looks so good, but listen, we are giving you at home the chance to win one of 3 Oink cookbook giveaways. You're going to want to have this book in your kitchen. Head on over to our Facebook page and comment on the Oink competition post. Tell us what your favorite recipe is. We've done 2 this morning, and of course use that hashtag Expresso Show. The T's and C's, can find those on our site, expressoshow.com. I mean, you know what I'm trying to do now, and I'm not going to sing, don't worry. I won't sing.
Why not? Come on.
No, because you've got actual musicians over there. I think this tastes so good.
Thank you.
It's delicious.
It's also about the quality of the pork, coming back to your earlier comment. I mean, we try and do as little as we can. We source really good pigs from farmers that breed specifically for us. They're all free range, and it comes through in the final product.
Richard Bosman, you are a superstar. Billy, such a superstar. Thank you so much. Gents, expressoshow.com for the recipe. Time for some music now. My stomach is so full. That's not a song.
You know, I'm smelling all of that food, and I feel like the perfect complement to that dish that you just made, Tabiso, is clearly a Caesar salad. Because we've got 2 amazing Caesars on one stage with a Don Vino Prince. That is a salad to me. And they are performing something very special for you right here on Expresso. A 1976 classic by a man that I love, Stevie Wonder. Isn't she lovely? Aren't they lovely? It's here for you on Expresso.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Are you ready for a sizzling summer holiday in Mzansi? Your best holiday is yet to come when you book at any participating Marriott branded hotel. Redefine your holiday with a beach break, nature retreat, or a road trip adventure. With the Marriott Summer Holiday offer, you can enjoy 25% off standard hotel rates, including free breakfast if you're a Marriott Bonvoy member and 15% if you're a non-Bonvoy member. Book on Marriott.com for the best rates guaranteed.
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
What an exciting time to be alive. This evening, space lovers, I think all humans across the globe, will wait with bated breath as NASA's latest Mars rover, the Perseverance, lands on the red planet. There is understandably a lot of excitement around the technology that's being used for the rover. And of course, it's all important mission science engagement astronomer from the observatory, Dr. Daniel Kanema, joins us more to share his excitement and tell us a little bit more. Man, what a time to be alive, Dr. Dan. This really is exciting.
Yeah, it is. I mean, this is very exciting for me. Like, you know, I know I'm an astronomer, but it's all everything space and space exploration and rockets and things is just completely up my alley.
But this matters to all humanity now. This kind of paints a picture of where we are, where our science is, our understanding of science and of technology. So many things come together in a beautiful unison to make this happen. But let's start at the beginning. What is the mission here? What is Perseverance's mandate?
Perseverance is looking for life. It's looking for past life, microbial life, looking for signatures of it, and evidence that there has been life on Mars at some point.
Now, I know you are very excited, obviously, about this evening's hopefully, and I stress hopefully, successful landing. Why has this got you so excited? Because we've seen some amazing advancements in the space arena, but this one seems to have got you really pumped. Why is that?
Yeah, I think that the technological achievements to send something like this to Mars are just incredible. I mean, so the rover, to give you a sense of scale, it's a ton, right? So it's the size of a small car. It's a very, very big thing. It's getting sent all the way to Mars. It takes 7 months to get there. It's traveling at 20,000 kilometers an hour. And then they're going to slow this thing down with a heat shield in the atmosphere, then with a parachute, and then with a sky crane, which is going to drop it onto the surface. And for all of that to go right, the amount of effort that has gone into this project and the understanding of the physics and the Martian atmosphere.
The maths.
It's astounding. Man. The maths. Exactly, right? It's astounding. And that's before the rover even gets going. Like, that's not even talking about the instruments on the rover, you know, the drill and the helicopter and all these things which are going to be on the rover, which are also pushing the boundaries of technology.
It's science fiction come to life. It really is. And he's not the first. He follows a proud tradition of rovers, if you will, going to the red planet. We know that most notably Curiosity was sent there in 2012. What was Curiosity's mandate and what did it actually achieve and find on the planet?
So Curiosity was one of the ones which was looking for, whether Mars could sustain life. So whether there was water, evidence of liquid water in the past, which it did find, and then also looking at the climate. So whether Mars could sustain life for us, you know, whether we could build a Martian base and what we would be required, you know, whether there's enough water under the surface for us to harvest and survive. And Curiosity, is incredibly successful. It landed in 2012. It's still operational.
You mentioned that Perseverance has a helicopter. What will that helicopter be in aid of? How is it going to utilize that? And, you know, does it decide on its own flight paths? Are they pre-programmed a kind of map of how it's going to be moving across the planet? Talk us through the helicopter.
The helicopter is going to fly off ahead of where Perseverance wants to go, and it can scope out a route. So it can say, well, no, there's a big boulder there, or there's a cliff there, don't go that way. This is the way you should go. And then it can fly back. And it'll be in sort of constant communication with the rover, mapping out the route. So it can fly up to 50 meters. It's solar powered, so it doesn't have to go back to the rover to recharge. And it's just to fly something on another planet has never been even attempted before. So if that works, which there's no reason to believe it won't, it's other world. Like it's incredible. I mean,
But something that really does excite me, that SANZA, the South African National Space Agency back home, played a role in the mission. What exactly was that?
The South African National Space Agency, I mean, we don't send rockets. We've sent a couple of satellites up in the past. But what we have is a kind of unique location in the world, being at the southern tip of Africa. To communicate with a rover on another planet or spacecraft, you need constant sort of line of sight communications for radio communications. And that's what we can provide from South Africa. So this is something which we've got a long history of doing during the Mercury and the Apollo missions back in the 60s. We had a radio antenna up in Hartbeespoort, which is still operational, and now we use for radio astronomy to do exactly this work. And that's what we were doing for the launch of the Mars rover.
It's part of a global effort to explore the red planet. Buddy, enjoy it tonight. Really soak up every element. I know there's going to be a live feed. There's going to be so much interest, so much going on throughout this evening. And hopefully, just hopefully, we'll get maybe one image, if that. And I'm going to ask the team, and hopefully you can connect with us again tomorrow morning after a successful landing. But enjoy every second of what is just a truly amazing milestone for planet Earth and for the red planet as well. Soak it all up, my friend.
Thanks, man. You too.
I think it's really amazing that South Africa was able to play a part in this massive mission and has done in the past. I'm going to say it. Here's to Perseverance's safe landing. Bon voyage. I know it's already well on his way, but all the best of luck to everyone involved. You can learn more about tonight's exciting event on the Cosmic Savannah podcast as well. And watch this space. Try and take in as much information as you can online, and then we'll hopefully get a successful update again tomorrow morning.
Thank you, Dr. Kanema, and thank you, Graham Richards. Time for us to take a look at those news headlines. A final look at that. We start off here locally, where the Middle Eastern airline Qatar Airways has announced plans to expand its flight operations in South Africa. The group said that by March, it plans to operate 28 weekly flights from the country. Cape Town will see an increase to 7 weekly flights, Durban 3, and Johannesburg 18. The move has been welcomed by South African Tourism Chief Executive Sian Chona, who says that the extra flights would be a boost for the country's COVID-19 lockdown recovery. Chona said that this demonstrates that South Africa has ensured safe travel in the COVID-19 environment. The Vaal River system, on which approximately 19 million people depend for drinking water and commercial use, is polluted beyond acceptable standards. This is the finding of the South African Human Rights Commission, which set up an inquiry into long-existing problems in the river system. The report, released yesterday, stated that the flow of raw sewage into public streets and homes poses a major health hazard and an obvious violation of people's right to dignity. It also impacts negatively on natural ecosystems and on the economy. In international news, the man portrayed as a hero in a Hollywood movie about the Rwandan genocide yesterday appeared in court at the start of his terrorism trial. Paul, whose lawyers denied the charges against him, of course, a fierce critic of Rwanda's President Paul Kagame. He's lived in exile in the United States, and he says he was abducted in Dubai last year and flown to Rwanda. The 66-year-old became famous after Don Cheadle played him in the 2004 film Hotel Rwanda, and he saved hundreds of people from being murdered during that 1994 genocide. The United Nations Security Council yesterday discussed the role that member states have in ensuring that coronavirus vaccines are also made available in countries where conflict occurs. More than 160 million people worldwide who are suffering from conflict, instability, and other disasters have limited access to vaccines. The Security Council is considering ways to bridge this gap. Concerns are growing about unequal access to the vaccine, and according to the United Nations figures, 120 countries have not yet received the vaccine, while 10 have obtained only about 75%. And now, news of the jab and some facts that you need to know. South Africa at last has some good news regarding a COVID-19 vaccine. Yesterday, the country became the first in the world to roll out the Johnson & Johnson vaccine. The vaccine has so far proved to be most effective in preventing death and hospitalization due to COVID-19. And given that the new local variant demonstrates nearly all local COVID-19 cases, of course, it also dominates those cases as well. This means it's also effective against this new variant. And only one jab or dose is required. Professor Salim Abdul Karim, chair of the Ministerial Advisory Committee on COVID-19, said a single dose is a major advantage rather than having to get 2 doses. And he said that, I quote, if you have a single dose, you of course also only need half the medical care infrastructure. Some protection from infection begins as early as 14 days after the jab, with full protection 28 days afterwards. Moreover, the J&J, that's Johnson & Johnson vaccine, only needs regular refrigeration and it can keep 3 months. And for the good news, it will be packaged in Port Elizabeth. And that's where we leave it for this morning. Here's a final look at the weather by Zoe.
Thank you, Tabiso. And you know what? We look forward to sharing some of more sunrise photos with you tomorrow. But for now, we are thanking and recapping the viewers that were featured this morning. We're kicking it off this morning with Ntokozo Theo Makatini in Joburg, then headed to the coast with this stunner from Gary Orkamp in the East London, and then Milani Erasmus from Kimberley shared this contrasting pink. And also, last but not least, we have one of our regulars, Verity Barnes Herbert, who shared yet another beautiful photo with us. Thank you to each and every one of you for sharing those sunrise photos, and please continue to do so on the Expresso Facebook page. We would love to show off your photography skills on your Feel Good Breakfast show. Next, we head over to the USA, where we send a shout out to all of our Africa Channel viewers, as well as many viewers in our watching through our YouTube channel. Now, Tallahassee is the capital of Florida. Tallahassee experiences long summers and short, mild winters. Summers are characterized by brief, intense showers and thunderstorms that form along the afternoon sea breeze from the Gulf of Mexico. Today, you can expect rains and a thunderstorm peaking at a mild 20 degrees Celsius, and be aware of the fact that the thunderstorms can bring damaging winds along with it, so please be safe. Regarding some local news, 46 schools in Mpumalanga have been damaged, and this is due to the recent heavy rain in the province. Some of the schools has not yet been able to reopen because they cannot be reached. The MEC for Education, Bonakele Majuba, says the department is trying to complete repairs as soon as possible for pupils to return to school. The Nkomazi local municipality in Malalane says it is working around the clock to restore services such as water and electricity supply and repairing roads that have been washed away. Water infrastructure was damaged and pumps have been submerged, causing a serious problem. Tankers have been dispatched to affected communities and technical teams have been deployed. The cost of the rain damage in the province is estimated at over R1 billion. Well, that's where we leave your weather news. Let's take a quick and final look at your temperatures for today. Starting off in Polokwane, a low of 18 with a high of 34 today. Sunny in Mbombela, 18 with a high of 31. Pretoria 19, 32. Johannesburg 18 with a high of 30. Mahikeng 18, 32. Klerksdorp 14 met 'n maksimum van 33. Kimberley 15, 35. Bloemfontein sonskyn met 'n minimum van 12 en 'n maksimum van 32. Richards Bay sunny with a high of 32. Pietermaritzburg also sunny with a high of 34. If you're in Durban today, 22 with a high of 30 can be expected. Mthatha 16, 29. East London partly cloudy with a high of 26. Cradock sunny with a high of 33. Port Elizabeth 17, 25. George sunny with a low of 14, a high of 23. Cape Town 17, 22. Worcester 12 with a high of 28. Sutherland partly cloudy with a high of 23. And if you're in Uppington today, sunny conditions with a low of 15 and a high of 33 degrees Celsius. Well, that's where we leave your weather for now on your Feel Good Breakfast Show. If you have a beautiful sunrise photo you'd love to share with us, please share that on the Expresso Facebook page.
And welcome back to the tournamental finals of the FIFA 21 Expresso tournament with Ryle up against Tariq. How's it, Tariq?
How about the short corner? How's it, man? So can you tell me something? Why play with the 5-star team? This is not your team.
What do you mean? I'm just warming up.
You did not play with PSG, no. You did not play with PSG. Where's Liverpool?
No. I thought it was going to be too easy with Liverpool, so I took a team like PSG just to make it more fair.
Well, just to remind you about the scores, a little earlier I played Simon Orjel, and the score there was 4-0. Simon beat me. This is obviously due to an Xbox PlayStation platform crossover, but it doesn't matter. At the moment, Ryle is beating Tariq 4-0 with PSG in the helm. An amazing game. Vuvuzelas all over as Ryle looks to be the winner on Expresso.
Woo!
Stick with us for more action right here with FIFA 21.
PSG is a winner.
It's my Feel Good Breakfast Show. In darkness, keep your light on, for the shadows they move.
Well, this is your Feel Good Breakfast Show Expresso on SABC3, and we all know that TVs have come a long way and can do incredible things when they are on. But what about when they are off? Samsung have taken the ordinary TV and made it extraordinary by literally turning it into a piece of art that will make your home magazine cover worthy. Now, Tabiso went all the way to Johannesburg to see one up close and personal for himself.
How's it, everyone? I am in Johannesburg today, and it's such a beautiful day to be in Joburg. Joburg's showing off completely, and I'm here to spend the day with South Africa's #1 MCM. Oh yes, South Africa's #1 snack, Maps Moponyane, because listen, rumor has it, he's bought a brand new Samsung TV. It's super slick, and he's been raving about it, so I'm here to see it for myself. And you know me, I'm all about the aesthetics, so come with me. Thank you so much for having me. How are you doing?
I'm so good, Tabzo. Thanks for coming through.
Thank you very much for having me. Wow, what a space.
I got your COVID results, so okay. I'll let you take the mask off.
Sweet, I've been I brought it just in case you weren't sure about the results. But Matt, What a place. And I mean, it's oozing style, character, so much of your personality coming across here. But I mean, I know that 2021 is the year for everybody finding their side hustle, but yours clearly is an art gallery.
So I wish this was a side hustle that could actually make me some money, but it's probably the one that takes all my money. I'm a big fan of art. I've loved art for as long as I can remember, and these are just a couple of my pieces that get to go on my walls in my home.
Yeah.
And it's all local art. Every single artist is a South African artist.
I love that.
And I just try and explore my love while supporting local art as much as possible, and try and beautify my space as much as I can.
Well, so I hit domestic departures from Cape Town and came to Joburg because someone told me that you bought a brand new Samsung Frame TV. But I'm like, okay, I'm here now. Have you not unboxed it yet?
As you can imagine, the couch is there.
Yes.
So this is the all-new Samsung Frame TV, and that
Step
is...
away from me with the lies. This cannot be your TV. Well, honestly, Maps, if I wasn't here with the intention of seeing your new Frame TV, then I wouldn't have known that this was it. I mean, this is a unique kind of TV. But what drew you to this beauty?
When the TV's off, it's an artwork.
Yeah.
And when the TV is on, you've got a 4K QLED television, and I don't know what there isn't to love about it. Everything just ticks all the boxes. So I think one of the coolest things about this is the fact you have so many different types of art that you can select and choose from. With the intelligent mode, the light adjusts to what the sun may be doing, what the space is like, so that it looks realer in every sense each time. The art mode allows you to pick all the different types of art, but the TV itself comes with different bezels to make sure that you have the different color border for your art too.
100%. I think for me, it's definitely the blend between functionality and self-expression, which comes through in the most beautiful way with this TV. But what modes can you play around with here?
What's really great is that if I don't want to put up some art, I can seamlessly switch between my art and some personal photos. So it also lets you do that. It lets you have your own kind of personal gallery that you can also have looping through as well. It also has an ambient mode that allows you to pick different types of decor art pieces too, to fit the space and blend it into the color of your walls. You can pick the exact color tone of your wall so that it also seems like it's a part of that too. You know, to fit into the space perfectly, where it's a 65-inch television, this one specifically, it could just look like this big thing that is not doing much when it's off, but now it actually has more of a purpose even when it's off.
Okay, so Maps, between you and I, okay, and you don't have to say this out loud, tell me that you had someone special's pictures looping on Valentine's Day here.
Now I feel like I actually messed up. That's genius. I should have done that. I did not. But you can do it. You can do that. But I should have spoken to you before that.
Maps, you got my full attention, and I am sold on the Frame TV. And I'm sure the question everybody's asking themselves now is, where do we get this TV? Where can they go buy it?
I see what you did there with the hammer.
Yeah.
Well, people can get this from any of the Samsung stores or participating retailers, or you can get it online at Samsung.com, which is what I did when I purchased the TV, because you want to try and resist leaving as much as possible and going into, crowded areas like malls and everything. To be able to do that where it will be personally delivered and installed just makes so much more sense.
How does the Samsung Signature Service help you with that?
They personally will deliver it and install it by the TV expert so that it can be set up for the full viewing experience and in the easiest way as possible.
No doubt, you've shown me the good life today, Maps. You have shown me sophistication and style in this Frame TV, and I love it.
Thank you. I'm glad it did not underwhelm you in any kind of way. It is all that it claims to be. And I wish you could have stayed a little bit longer, and I wish you could have enjoyed the full viewing experience, but I think the experience is going to be better on your own watch.
And I can't wait to buy it, because I will be buying it. Thanks so much, Maps.
Thank you very much.
Go to Dash. Love you chatting, love you seeing you, but I've got plenty to do.
Travel safely. Cheers, man.
Stick around, hang around me, Zoe Brown. I will show you interesting things, inspiring things. I'll introduce
Can you
to
get me
maps.
one of those TVs?
Can I get me one of those TVs? Listen, it's certainly on my shopping wish list. I'm going to be going on to Samsung.com and checking that out. But of course, you can find it at all the retailers that are participating. Beautiful, beautiful
It is beautiful.
TV.
I've
Game
only
changer.
seen it on the gram and it looks unbelievable. I'm quite jealous you got to see it in person.
Yeah, you should be.
Well, listen, there's been a lot of gaming coming up on your Feel Good Breakfast show. Let's check in with the guys.
Yeah, lots of gaming, as you know. And Raul's up against Tariq Asim at the moment, and I think they're just getting their match set up. We asked you to send us your gamer tag as per your PlayStation account on Expresso's Facebook page so that we could add you to the game this morning from the comfort of your own home. All this so that you could tackle our presenters in a game of FIFA 21. So far, Simon already battled me. And maybe won. And next viewer, Tariq Asim, is going to take on our very own nature boy, Ryle. And I'm telling you now, this match is going to be one for the books. Who will come out on top? Who will be the FIFA 21 champion? Catch all the action live right here on SABC3. The match is about to begin. Let me take you through. Ryle looking very poised. Let's get a pre-match feeling as to how he's feeling. Ryle, this match against Tariq, how do you feel at this point?
It's going to be tough, Carl. So he plays a very defensive game. He parks the bus always. He just puts all his defenders behind, waits for a mistake from me, and then he counters. So the game has just started over here.
No problem, I heard that. So Tariq is basically Jose Mourinho.
Yes, he is, Carl, he is.
Tariq Mourinho.
The special one. Call me the special one.
Sorry, excuse me, Tariq, the special one. How have you really been building up to this game? Have you been training to take on Lyle?
I have, yes, all my life. For like 28 years, I've been training to take on Lyle. And he hasn't beaten me once.
Excuse me.
Some interesting words there as we battle it out. And here we have PSG up against Bayern Munich.
Yes, so I'm PSG. Like I said earlier, Carl, I'm choosing PSG because if I take the full, it's going to be... Oh, Kylian Mbappe!
The crowd goes wild. The special one reduced to not special one, but special 1-0 at the moment with Ryle scoring. Oh my goodness. Tariq, you still okay there?
My Wi-Fi.
Your Wi-Fi?
He always does this. He is the greatest excuser ever. I'm telling you, Carl. Watch this.
Here we go. It's Tariq. Now, Tariq, you're a lifeguard. So how does your lifeguarding skills help your FIFA game?
I'm all about the focus.
Oh, the focus. Okay.
It allows me to focus and breathe, and then BMT.
Oh yes, always. The big match temperament is what we need over here.
Here we go.
Oh, that is absolutely ambitious. But how dare you even try and shoot from that? Are you mad?
It's one of those things. But what I can say is, Tariq, is that I thought you were going to say when asking you about how a lifeguard connects to FIFA 21 is that you're 1-0 down. I thought you needed saving. Ryle said that. Okay.
Mbappe almost on the double.
But yeah, a little earlier, I lost quite badly. I must just say. And
why are you making those funny sounds?
Here we go.
We've been so
called for nothing.
Some perspective. We've been friends for literally like 28 years. Okay. I need a medal for that, firstly. But secondly, we've been dueling like this forever, always going at it. So the banter's always rife when it comes to the. What's happening? Live TV.
Oh my goodness! But the thing is, look here, Ryle can't be this good, Tariq, because the man who's actually behind the control is one of the best.
There must be something wrong with my control.
No, it's not your control. It's actually the fact that Giulio Beast Bianchi is actually holding the control. Ryle's not playing.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Thinking. I said this earlier.
The Beast, you're playing the Beast, my friend. I'm so sorry.
Yes!
Ryle's taking all the credit for the Beast work.
I scored that with no hands. Obviously, I brought in the recruit here. There's no way I'm going to lose to my best friend on live TV, so I brought in some reinforcements.
Oh my
word. Our South Africa's best, of course. And
I must just say that you no-scoped that one. That's what they would say. But well done, my friend. Congratulations. I think it's safe to say that Ryle's got this in the bag. And thanks a lot to Tariq as well. Please don't forget that you can also stand a chance to win one of 2 PS5s courtesy of Game Stores. All you have have to do is spend 250 Rand or more in store on game stationery supplies. Remember to keep your till slip safe and fill in the entry form online at game.co.za and upload your till slip for a chance to win. You'll then go into the lucky draw to stand the chance to win one of those 2 coveted PS5s. T's and C's found at expressoshow.com, and the competition runs until 28 February 2021. Have fun and win with Game. Like this guy is. Oh my word.
I need a challenger. Any challengers out there, Mzansi? I'm waiting.
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
So, we've had classic fashion from Timby, classic cars, thanks Chad, and we've seen classic hairstyles. And you, Michael? Classic.
A classic range from Clover. Timeless taste.
Made with love by Clover.
And I was going to cook, but I thought, let me hand it over to somebody who's a far better cook than I am. Zoe will be doing some very, very, very special things. Now, from chorizo and prawn kebabs to croque monsieur a little bit earlier, we've been transporting your palate to the different classic flavors the world has to offer this morning. And our next dish takes us to India with a Clover classic chicken tikka masala. And if you're looking to spice things up, then this is the dish for you. I just want to let you know that Zoe and we did a rock, paper, scissors. She won, so she's going to have to do this. I'm ready for you. Let's go.
Okay, I am ready. So what we're going to start off with is we want to marinate our chicken to really get that chicken masala flavor going. So we've got a range of spices here. I'm going to ask you to add them for me.
No problem. I'm right here with you.
So we've got some crushed garlic over there, some crushed ginger. You can use this maybe to just make it a little bit easier.
That's right. Spatula, right?
There we go. We're going to add some cumin.
That's it, because we only cumin after all.
Garam masala.
Okay.
I love your puns.
Thank you very much. A little bit of...
Some coriander.
That's it. It's coriander. Done here, but we're not done here.
No, we are not done here.
All right,
and then, of course, a little bit of coriander. We did say that, cumin.
Yes.
And I feel like we're also just going to add this one, which is our... What does it smell like?
It's all the garam masala.
Yes, there we go. I mixed the orders around. Those are the ones you're gonna
That's
do.
why I let her cook. She's amazing.
And then, of course, our hero ingredient, which is our Clover Classic. And we are using the low-fat dairy snack yogurt option. And, of course, this is unbelievable. So we're going to add about a cup. Now, because I don't have a cup, I'm just going to measure it out like my mom
I know
cooks.
this one. This one's like a source of 10 vitamins. And I mean, that's why whenever you add it to food, especially when it comes to marination, then you're getting the vitamins into your protein, which is such a great way to start. The smell alone is sensational. And if you missed out on all of those things as Zoe threw them in, the garlic and this and that, then please go check out the recipe at expressoshow.com as we continue with this marination for the nation.
Of our chicken. Now, of
This is
course,
so good.
this is also amazing with our Clover Classic is it's great for snacking on the go, but of course we're also using it to marinate our chicken.
All right.
So this you will leave ideally overnight in the fridge, but if you don't have a lot of time, half an hour is also good enough. And now we're going to let that set aside for a bit.
Chilli.
And I'm going to start with our sauce. So what we've got here is some onions already sauteing. I'm going to add our tomato paste.
Okay. This is getting very saucy now, Zoe. This
Getting
is
really saucy.
I'm excited.
In fact, that's our tomatoes with a bit of tomato paste.
Great.
There we go. We're going to add a little bit more of our masala, our garam masala.
I love the way you say garam masala.
Am I saying it wrong?
No. It's perfect. It's perfect. And then the chili powder.
And a little bit of chili powder.
That's what it looked like from here. It looks so good.
You know, I always need to smell it. If it's chili powder or paprika, you really can pick up the difference. And then we're going to add a little bit of milk.
Okay, awesome.
Because, you know, that's a great balancer for, in fact, I think that's milk.
Excuse me? It's cream. That's correct. Yeah, it is cream. And there's a bit of coriander there if you want to throw that in there.
Just some fresh spices.
Yeah, just to freshen things up there. This is great.
There we go. So once your sauce is together, really cooking, we'll use our chicken and add that, and we'll cook along with our sauce that we've just made. There we go.
Okay, that's great.
Do you want to pass me that?
And there are so many options to serve this with. I'm sure you can serve it with rice. You can serve it with some naan bread if you want to as well. You can eat it on your own, which is always fantastic. And I know that when it comes to these types of things, the entire house smells it. When the entire house smells it, just be ready to serve, because it's going to be really, really phenomenal as we get this thing broken down. Remember, source of 10 vitamins. That's why we use this incredible classic Clover product. And the creaminess already and the smell, just the way it's connecting, is just, it's wonderful. I think, you know, Zoe, you made this look so easy.
You know what? It is an easy recipe, and you really cannot mess it up. You just follow the ingredients, you just mix it all together, and look at that. So we'll make sure that our chicken obviously needs to be cooked perfectly. That's going to cook nice and slow, and that will be left over with this amazing chicken tikka.
That is great. You did that so fast. I feel like, you know, if you missed any of those steps, it's so important for us to do a little recap for you as to how to get the curry in a hurry with tikka chicken masala with Zoe Brown and Clover.
Made with love by Clover.
How delicious was that? How delicious does it look? We can't wait to get involved with that. But listen, it's a family affair on Expresso today as Richard Caesar and his children Maxine and Vaughan and their good friend Don Vino Prince take to the stage to perform a medley that you are going to completely love. Sit back, relax, enjoy their mix of Havana by Camila Cabello, as well as Shawn Mendes, Ribbon in the Sky, Stevie Wonder, Just Once by James Ingram. Wow, guys, what a medley. Do it.
Havana, na-na. Half of my heart is in Havana, na-na. He took me back to East Atlanta, na-na-na. Oh, but my heart is in Havana. My heart is in Havana. You didn't walk up, but that how you do
so long. For this night I pray that a star will guide you my way to share with me the special day where a ribbon in the sky for our love. If allowed, may I touch your hand, and if please, may I once again, so that you too will understand. There's a ribbon in the sky for our love. Play some saxophone. I did my best, but I guess my best wasn't good enough. But here we are back where we were before. Seems nothing ever changes. We're back to being strangers, wondering if we have to stay or head out the door. And just once, can we figure out what we keep doing wrong? Why the good times never last for long? 'Cause what are we doing wrong? And just once, can we find a way to finally make it right? To make the magic last for more than just one night. I know if we could do it, if we could just get to it just once. I want to understand why it always comes back to goodbye. Why can't we get ourselves in hand and admit to one another we're no good without each other? Take the best and make it better. Find a way to stay together. And just once, can we find a way to finally make it right? To make the magic last for more than just one night. I know if we get to it, if we could just get to it just once. Oh, we could get to it just once. The Don, yeah.
Oh, what an iconic performance. Richard, Maxine, Vaughan, of course, Don, Vino, Prince. Thank you so much for blessing us with such incredible talent here on your Feel Good Breakfast Show. Let us know what you thought of that performance. Expresso Morning Show, SABC3 on Facebook. Of course, on Friday, there's going to be lots of exciting things coming your way as well, which we'll tell you all about it. But thank you so much, guys. We love this, and thank you so much for being here this morning. Of course, your show is online. You can check out all their details on their social media platforms. Of course, the Caesars and Don Vino, 26th of Feb at 8 o'clock. It's going to be going live online, and the tickets are only at 80 Rand. You can get those on Quicket. We'll see you after this. Wow, what a performance.
Only you can make my day. my feel-good breakfast show.
Welcome back. Of course, you're still locked in at your Feel Good Breakfast Show here on SABC3. Now, working out is good for the mind, the body, and of course, the soul. But new fitness attire can give you the kick you need to meet your fitness goals. And our fashion and beauty editor, Knox Mafu, is here to unpack different leggings designed for unrestricted movement, comfort, and of course, confidence. Knox, how are you doing this morning?
Good, and you?
I'm so good. So take me through the different types of performance leggings. I love the fact that we are talking about apparel that not only looks good, but it does the job too and assists us in doing it. So what have you got for us?
Well, Raul, you're a man who loves goals and fitness goals too.
Yes.
So I thought this is the best time to bring in the leggings.
Okay.
So what Woolworths is actually giving us is such a beautiful range of capri leggings, biker shorts, and even your full leggings. But the joy about all of these items is that they've got such great technology and high waistbands to allow for you to move and get that right pose. So what we're seeing here is a range of things that you can use for kind of light to medium exercise. So if you want to jog or whatever, these are really great items. So we're moving on from kind of the side panel here. So there's some great technologies, these panels that help with kind of not only design, but really helping you to kind of get good movement around there. The high waistband, which, you know, Woolies is really focused on here, which allows for extra movement and also then retains a lot of the shape as you're moving. So it's really fun to see them kind of play between fashion with amazing colors like these, but also the functionality, which is so important.
And you mentioned the different options you get in the lengths and everything else. If I had to put you on the spot and ask you a question, what's your favorite thing about the new legging?
It's tough. It's tough.
Yeah.
But I think what I love is actually that even if it looks good, it does so much. So my favorite is actually the full legging, because I'm someone who likes to do more like Pilates or yogas and stuff. So I find that works better for myself. So for instance, if we look over here, Woolies has a beautiful range of these leggings, very secure, and the kind of stretchability of it is great. So it gets back into shape quite quickly, but it also really just looks fashionable. So if you wanted to kind of carry on with your errands during the day, so this is the longer form of it, which you'll find me wearing more likely. It's really, really great. And then you pair that with a beautiful kind of performance top over there, a good hoodie, and you've got great items that you can style them with.
And I love that. The fact that you're talking about how we can style everything together, I must owe that to the crazy colors I'm seeing as well. Obviously, you've got your standard stripes and patterns, but you've got this sort of like tie-dye look to it as well. So if you want to be funky and go crazy, you can.
Exactly. Once you've worked up a sweat, you've perfected these poses in these really durable items. And because they're breathable, you know, you really have worked up a sweat. It's coming to, the retention of water is actually very quick. So like it dries itself very quickly. Then you've got these amazing tops that you can wear on top of it. So I'm really enjoying this kind of tie-dye style, which I would just hop these onto a pair of leggings just to give it that edge. But of course, if you are a person who likes it two-piece, this is your time. This is a really, really fun outfit that I just...
kit.
Exactly. But
So I want to put you to the test here. Because you're speaking about how easy it is to kind of mix and match. And I thought we'd bring in one of our finest models right here in the Expresso studio. It's Zoe Brown herself. Come in here, beautiful gal. So Zoe's obviously rocking one of these outfits already, right?
So she's wearing the capri leggings, which are great and comfortable to move in. Now we know that home workouts are Zoe's thing, so I really think that for her, this makes such a good choice. And then we've added like a performance bra there, which is also quite nice and support. But what I want to do, if she wanted to go for a walk at the store.
Well, you know what? I live in my gym clothes. So for me, I rock up to work in gym clothes, leave, and then sometimes you actually want to run an errand, and people always ask you, are you off to the gym? And I'm like, no, it's actually just my normal clothing if I'm not on set that I live in. So it's nice to know that I'll be able to make it a little bit more street style, but wearable.
100%, 100%. So I wanted you to give this a go.
Okay.
A really fun kind of zip-up hoodie that you can just add to give it that edge.
And it's got the thumb holders.
Yes, when you said street style, I was like, perfect, because that's exactly what it is. Like
Zoe, how are you feeling in this though? Is this
I'm liking it. This is very me for not being on set. I mean, even running to radio, I'm someone that's constantly in my gym clothing because no one sees you, so you get away with it.
And your lifestyle, of course, you need to be just going, and the quicker you can change into something, the better. So this is probably perfect for you.
And I love this because you don't want to look sloppy when running your errands. You want to at least look polished. You still want to, feel a little bit presentable, but still be comfortable.
Yeah.
Well, I think you
it's
ticked every
functional.
single box there. Knox, well done on this one.
Thank you.
Definitely a winner.
Thank
Now,
you.
of
She
course,
looks great.
Zoe, while you glamour out in your new look,
Thank you.
the rest of you guys, of course, can go with the flow and feel comfortable and, of course, confident too in these performance leggings. And you can buy them at any Woolies store or online. And all you got to do is also check out the app where you can get all this crazy fashion and functionality too. Enjoy.
So I know you've seen the fashion now, but have you seen the fashion of FIFA 21 with two of these beasts? Now, who says games need to be reserved for the kids? No! You'll still have that inner child, as you can hear, who deserves a virtual adventure every now and then, especially when you can play along too. Now, we ask you to send us your gamer tag as per your PlayStation account on Expresso's Facebook page so that we can add you to the game from the comfort of your own home and get ready to tackle our presenters in a game of FIFA 21. Now, we have two very, very talented people.
Julio, no!
Grant Hines versus Julio Beast Bianchi. And I'm telling you, this guy qualified for the FIFA E Club World Cup 2021 finals. And this morning, he's up against it with regard to a gaming guru. How's the score looking? Oh, did somebody score? Okay, let me guess. It was you.
It wasn't me.
It was you.
It wasn't me.
Too easy against Grant, unfortunately.
I played against Julio before, and I know what's coming for me. But I still, when you're a gamer, you just go like, now's the chance. I still think I have. Like, how often do you practice?
Me, now I play every weekend basically, but I'm not too sure whether I need practice against you, Grant.
Oh my word! No! The shade! Okay, but at the same time, there's something about your play that I noticed. Your defense is very, very good. The way you tackle is different from the way a newcomer would tackle.
Yeah.
How do you develop that skill?
Now it's all about timing, I guess. That's and if you're gonna rush all your players out, like I explained to you earlier on, you're just gonna leave gaps for the opposition to score.
Okay.
So yeah, it's all about timing and waiting for the perfect moment.
All right. Here we go. Okay, don't worry. Oh, yeah, you knocked the score. We're talking about the scoreboard. Just to let you know, there's been a couple of games. I played Simon Orgill earlier and unfortunately lost about 4-0. Grant took the second off. And then the other game was Team Ryle against Team Tariq. And look at the scoreboard. Ryle beat Tariq 8-0 thanks to the Beast, who is now playing against Grant Hines, which is quite exciting. So the games continue. FIFA 21, scores-wise, we got 1-0 to PSG. That is Julio's team. And I know that from the 24th to the 28th is the FIFA E Club World Cup. Now, is this entire thing online? Like, what is the... so you have to have the Wi-Fi sorted if you want to be a competitor, don't you?
Yeah, 100%. So this year, due to the pandemic, obviously, we couldn't go to an actual arena and play overseas like we used to. So yeah, they divided it up in zones and we'll be playing online. We'll be playing from my team's headquarters in Johannesburg.
Nice.
And everything is sorted. It will be streamed on FIFA's channel. So yeah, looking forward to it.
I'm excited and thank you very much for representing us, and as well as Kaylin, who's up in Joburg at the moment. Don't you forget that you can also stand a chance to win one of two PS5s courtesy of Game Stores. All you have to do is spend 250 Rand or more in store on game stationery supplies. Remember to keep your till slip safe. Fill in the entry form at game.co.za and upload your till slip for a chance to win. You'll then go into the lucky draw to stand the chance to win one of two PS5s. T's and C's found on expressoshow.com. And the competition runs until 28 February 2021. All the best, good luck, and make sure you get spending inside Game Stores. At the moment, the scores are, 2-0 to PSG.
Yeah, you
just given up.
You can just
and
play on
that's
your
why
own.
the Beast is representing South Africa. He's gone. Thanks a lot for joining us, my friend, and all the best for the FIFA E World Cup, and all the best to you to win that PS5. Good luck.
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
When award-winning Canadian alt-pop duo Neon Dream's single Life Without Fantasies initially dropped back in July of 2019, yes, the song was successful, but it wasn't until over a year later when they noticed that the song suddenly spiked in streaming and radio play in a country halfway across the world from them. Yes, you guessed it, in sunny old South Africa. Comprised of vocalist Frank Cadillac and drummer Adrian Morris, 2020 turned out to be an all-round very successful year for the breakout group despite all of the challenges we faced, and they join us now via video call to share more about their journey. A very good morning, a warm welcome from sunny Cape Town. Gentlemen, how are you?
Good morning. Good morning.
I know it's not morning your side, so good evening to you guys. Thanks so much for taking the time to connect with us. I love the fact that over the last year, in this weird way, maybe because we've had this shared experience, we have become one global village. What you don't expect, though, is for your music to cross these kind of boundaries and become so successful on the other side of the world. But I'm going to start maybe a few steps back. Frank, I'm going to ask you, your duo was obviously originally a band that was formed in 2015 with 4 guys who knew each other from high school, so I'm sure the bromance was strong. What was the impact of being able to hone your talents and your sound together as a group of mates? And how did you then evolve into the alt-pop genre that you guys define yourself as today?
When we first started, it was, like you said, there's a squad of us, and you know, we all had this like conversation about like what we wanted out of life. Then that's how we adapted, and that's how we came to what we are now. And then as we started making more music, and Corey started producing more, so when he left the band, and Matt became our manager, he helped more on the business side, and then we started messing around more with music because like we were all just so in tune with what we wanted to do with life. We made mistakes and we learned from them, and then like that's how we got to this. Yeah.
You guys are young, man. I think you've barely just begun, which is so exciting. The fact that you've been able to achieve as much as you have already, but there is a method behind that madness. I think, Adrian, your growth over the last 5 years obviously been immense. As former members, Corey and Matt transitioned from performing in the band to running the independent label, Dreaming Out Loud, which deserves props in itself, and managing the outfit. What do you think is the importance of immersing yourself in the business of music as well? And how has that helped you guys grow and define who you are?
I think as an independent band, in a band in general, you have to like know that side of the industry to really get where you want to go. And having a better understanding of it will help you achieve your goals that you have set out a lot better. One thing for us is like the fact that we're all brothers and our loyalty for each other is one thing that really kept us together. It's like a family within our whole team, and we've been together for so long.
Frank, clearly you are doing something right when it comes to the strategy behind the business. It's one thing releasing bangers, but you got to make sure that they work and you sustain that success. Now, I know you guys won the 2020 Juno Award, which I understand is the Canadian equivalent of a Grammy Award for Breakthrough Group of the Year. Congratulations for that. How do you take on board that kind of validation? Because that is amazing and a massive milestone.
You know, it felt good, like to have those type of accomplishments, not just to be like feel like I'm better than anybody, but like it's like for ourselves. You know, we worked so hard just to get to where we were. I took my award, the Juno Award that I won, and I actually gave it to my old boss just out of like love, because I thought that was the right thing to do, because she's the first person that I ever worked for that believed in me. So yeah, it feels amazing, and now we have even more goals. We want to come down to South Africa.
Please, man, please. We are so starved of really good live performances here. And that brings me to my next question, because I love the fact that first of all, we're connecting right now, and it kind of feels like you guys could be really comfortable here. Obviously, 2020 was a career-defining year. And obviously, the year in which you gained a huge fan base outside of Canada, and in particular right here in South Africa. I'm telling you, you would sell out if you had to come and perform here. Was it planned to have this very peculiar trajectory for the song Life Without Fantasies? Did you ever expect it to do this well here? How much did you even know about South Africa before the song became such a hit here in this country?
Very little, like so little. I had like one friend that was South African.
It's funny because we always talked about these dreams, especially over the past couple of years, about how bad we wanted to like start moving into different countries and performing in different countries. And then one day it was just like, I noticed that our streaming was really high in South Africa for a song released 2 years ago, and something just clicked in my brain. I was like, I gotta tell everybody about this because it's so surprising and it was so shocking, but it was one of the goals we had set out.
It's the prodigal son, man, and it's come back to roost, and that's so awesome. Frank, you guys ensured that you stayed connected with the fans, so I think it didn't just happen by mistake in the way that you've been able to build that momentum. You've stayed connected through Instagram live feeds, sending personal video shout outs, even private Zoom concerts, which we are so appreciative of. Why was it important for you to establish this kind of connection with us? Obviously, the song leapt across the barrier, across that boundary, but you've formed a very personal connection with us. And how long do you think we can wait before you guys will actually come to South Africa and perform here? Maybe even come record a song here?
that literally is a plan. Like soon as we're not restricted from coming down, we're going to be like right over there, and we already like been talking to a few artists and stuff to collaborate with, so that'd be really fun. Like I was a kid, I remember like just always wanting to meet my heroes and stuff, and I like made it a thing where like if I ever got big, I'd do my best to connect with the fans, because like I know what it's like to not get like a reply from somebody and they just don't feel important. So I just want everybody to feel important that follows us. Like that's because it's like family. It's not like.
What does this mean for 2021? What are the plans? How do you even plan with everything that's going on in the world? What are your hopes for 2021?
I think we're just holding on to the hope of going and touring there. It's like the biggest dream for us right now, and I think it's in our head at all times. It's keeping us going, you know? It's like the thing we're most excited to do right now. We're just going to keep connecting with the fans on the level that we're doing, because every single fan that reaches out is the reason why we get to come to South Africa. And that's our biggest goal right now.
Now, you guys have got a home away from home waiting for you when you get here. I think most importantly, stay safe, gents. Keep making the kind of music that you are. And thank you again for taking the time and putting so much effort into connecting with your South African fan base. Down to every man and woman, we really appreciate it, man. Thank you so much.
Hey, we wanted to add one more thing. Thank you, everybody in South Africa that's been tuning in. And we also are putting out an acoustic ukulele version of the song on February 19th. So.
Oh, man. Make sure you indulge the uplifting sounds of Canadian alt pop duo Neon Dreams. Absolute legends. Their music is available for listening and purchase from all of our leading streaming services. And keep it locked to your Feel Good Breakfast Show, as we will be jamming to the music video for their song, which blew up in Mzansi, Life Without Fantasies. Stick around.
Well, it's time for some music. Of course, we have the gents playing it for us.
Life Without Fantasies. Watch it.
Your company, I just need you, your ecstasy. As if it all goes my way, it be lit. I get it all off my chest, everything I wish I said. I take a real stand to all those that hurt me. What is life? What is life without fantasies? Yeah. I don't need a lie, I don't need a range. I just want love, a little bit of pain. I just need you, your company. I just need you, your ecstasy. I don't need a bar, I don't need a chain. I just want love, a little bit of change. I just need you, your company. I just need you, your ecstasy. I don't need a lie, I don't need a range. I just want love, a little bit of pain. I just need you, your company.
was so fantastic. Thank you so much. We'll see you bright and early tomorrow. Mwah.
Love you.
I just need you, your ecstasy.
Celebrate the month of love with your family favorites. Made with love by Clover.
Another feel-good production.